Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to the ABCs of RPGs, where we teach you the basics of tabletop role-playing games. My name's Spencer. I'm what's known as the Keeper of Arcane Lore, because today we are playing Call of Cthulhu. You're joining us in the middle of the starter set, where we're playing the adventure Dead Man's Stomp. But before we go any further, let me introduce to you your investigators, Dalton.
Hi, I'm investigator number 1, playing a very smart, intelligent, put together, entirely sane man named Marvin Martin, who wants nothing more than to spread the truth about extraterrestrials on the new airwaves known as the radio. I think next up is Dan.
Yeah, hi. I'm investigator number 69, Dan. I am playing as myself, and I really hope that I don't die. So that's pretty much the long and skinny of it. And I think next up, Justin, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I am playing Leo Quinn. My investigator has a name, unlike the other two investigators, who just have numbers.
They
my
said
name
their
was
names.
Marvin.
They just also
Oh, did
have. They just also have investigator and then a number. Apparently.
Yeah, you
Oh.
didn't get your membership card in the mail?
Membership card.
Yeah, membership card.
Yeah.
Leo's
Yeah,
just
there was a membership
operating
card.
under the radar. Okay, he doesn't want the paper trail.
Welcome to Call of
but
Cthulhu, where
Leo
everybody
is
goes
very
insane and the
welcome to
numbers
Call-
don't matter.
Oh, but the numbers super matter.
But keep
But not
going,
the way that
Justin.
you'd really expect. Anyway, yeah. So Leo Quinn is a completely legitimate
Business person.
businessman. He definitely does not do crime all the time.
But yeah, he's legitimate. Yeah.
He's legitimate. Call me a gangster, and I hate that. So I stuck my gun in his mouth, and I told him I'm a businessman.
And I
It's
think
not like the
You're sure?
it's not like the party has broken any professor's nose just for information before.
I think last but not least, the only actual
I don't think.
real investigator among us
Yeah.
is Christian's character.
Yeah. Butcher Blevins is a character that I play. He, him. Investigator number 42. And yeah, Butcher loves a good slab of meat, because he's a butcher, and has joined the SEU and has gotten wrapped up in the perilous events with all of these other investigators and these adventures. So
Yeah, the only one who's actually part of the Society for the Exploration of the Unexplained. So Butcher has like a little bit of knowledge that the world is not all right, and everybody else is slowly discovering that knowledge. So, but yeah, before we get into it, who wants to catch us up from last time?
You can.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So last time, we had just left off from like the major adventure of the first part, which was the Edge of Darkness. In that, the party basically was how everybody got together was everybody knew this man named Rupert Merriweather, who with his dying wish wanted the party to go and take care of a monster he summoned when he was a younger inexperienced lad. The party agreed, went there, did a thing, burned down a farmhouse, killed a homeless person. Then
Party did no such thing.
one person in the party did.
Yeah, but like, didn't we threaten to send him to jail or something?
We did.
Yeah, so that's like enough, I think.
You covered up a murder.
We have covered up a murder.
Well, yeah,
you guys
you
did.
gotta, right?
So we're accomplices.
burned
Accomplices, yeah.
all the evidence.
So that was the end of the first adventure, but last time on the last session, basically you had gotten a sarcophagus that Dan had started to kind of piece together a bit with the Mu language and stuff like that, but you wanted to find out more about it. So you reached out to the professor. It had been about 3 months since the major incident of the Edge of Darkness. And the professor was just super into jazz, super it was just like, yeah, let's just go to this speakeasy called Small's Paradise. Let's go there, have a great time. Or sorry, Paradise on Earth. Let's go to Paradise on Earth and have a great time. So you guys go there, and you get to see. Well, actually, Justin's character was already there. He was hanging out. He was chilling. Leo was in the club. It just kind of like, because it's a regularly frequented speakeasy. It's very famous among the criminals and higher ups, politicians alike. And so Leo was already there, sees the party, walks in, does not go introduce himself. He probably wants to stay as far away from the party as possible. But
No, he was having a nice evening at the jazz club.
yeah,
He didn't want
Was.
anything to do with any of that bullshit.
nope,
And all the gin joints in all the world, you walk into mine.
fine. So the party goes and sit down next to a very tense man who seems to be on edge, doesn't really talk to you guys. You're hanging out, you're enjoying the music. When all of a sudden, a rat-like man comes into the the club, sneaks up behind the stranger who is uneasy, and shoots him in the back of the head, and then escapes out. Leo goes to go chase him down, recognizing him from like a criminal gang, the boss's gang. Everybody else kind of like recoiling from the scene. But the band didn't stop playing, and all of a sudden, the man starts tapping along to the beat, and he rises up, clearly still dead. Irene, who we did introduce, sorry, I should have introduced her earlier. Irene is our other fellow investigator, which I'll have her give her investigator number when she joins us. She'll be joining in with us in just a little bit. She is in vet school, and she's currently performing a spay on a kitty. So, but she plays Irene, which is a dilettante, a person who she comes for money, just likes to go easy. But funny enough, when this man got shot in front of the party, brain and gore splattered on her, and she went insane for the very first time. Temporary insane. She now has a fear of blood, I believe, and she had to run away in fear for 7 rounds. So that happened. She ran out of the building. But basically, yeah, returning back to the action, the man was like clearly dead, whole shot into his head, blood dripping out of it. But he starts tapping and he stands up and starts walking out. That's when the whole crowd freaks out, starts running out, run over him. He stands back up, starts to wander towards the entrance. The party, meanwhile, escapes out the back with the band, goes to the band, says, hey, what's going on? They're like, oh, let's get out of here. So they run out, and from there, Leo was able to track down the car because he shot out one of the wheels of the rat-like man. Tracked it down to a location, but they had ditched the car. They like dropped it off and ran away, right? So they had ditched the car. So the party goes, where can we stay for the night? After they pick up, they find Irene in a abandoned house, just like in terror. They kind of calm her down a bit. Then they try to find a place to stay at night, and they just so happen to know where that Leo lives in Hell's Kitchen. So they run into him in Hell's Kitchen and spent the night in his apartment. And that's where we left off last time. So after that recap, do we want to do the get to know you better question real quick and then kind of resume where we left off last time?
Sure. Do you have
Dive in,
a
Lord Keeper.
get to know
Yes.
you question?
Somebody roll a D200. It was
Roll
250, but now it's only 200.
Questions are being purged.
176.
176. All right, let's see what that question is. So,
The Edge of Darkness. Never mind. Keep doing. Keep going. Sorry, I went into the wrong module.
If everyone here came back in the next life as an animal, what animal would they be?
Cat.
Dan would become a cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're pretty cute.
I don't know. I think Butcher is, I see Christian holding his cat there, so maybe Butcher would also be a cat.
Oh, she is.
Be cat. We can be cat friends, Christian.
That's what I would like to say.
We could be in the same cat colony.
I feel like Butcher would say like a bull or something because he's big, stocky, and kind of just
I
Yeah.
feel like that's
yeah.
an
I don't know.
ironic
I
choice
mean,
for Butcher.
but my heart says a kitty cat because they are great.
Justin, did you say that's an ironic choice?
Yeah, like if you were a butcher and you're like, I'm gonna come back as like a thing.
Yeah,
that you
right.
Usually, like carve up and sell to people.
I don't know. I don't know. I could think of anything else.
No, that's fine.
That's
I
fine.
just,
No,
I just
it's
thought
good.
it
But
was
yeah,
kind
it
of
is ironic.
that the butcher would choose a bull.
Oh. What about Marvin or Leo?
I don't know, I think Marvin might be like a weasel or a stoat, like one of like the long mammals.
Oh.
Long mammals. Trying to think of Ermine.
If I'm going to be honest, I had never heard of a stoat before, but they're
like
native to
weasels.
North
What are you talking
America.
about? Leo would be a lion. Leo the
Leo
lion.
would come.
Come on.
Leo would come back as his namesake for a lion.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, kitty.
Kitty, big kitty.
That's a big
Well,
kid.
now I feel left out. Marvin's the only one who's not going to be a cat.
Yeah, but Marvin's a free thinker. He's out there on the radio
He's out there on the fringes.
Wait.
Yeah, he's
But
hanging
here's
out
the
with
thing,
the
you
cat.
can be like the lion, the two domesticated cats, and the weasel could grow up together.
Oh,
And like
yeah.
they're all raised together from birth. They're different sizes, but they're all friends. They all look out for each other.
I mean, could we consider aliens an animal? What if it's an alien animal?
No,
Nah.
yeah. I changed my
Nah.
mind. Meerkats are also long mammals, so he's going to be a meerkat.
I'm gonna be a
There you
meerkat.
go.
Oh, like Lion King.
Oh.
Like Lion King. Yeah.
Wait, Disney, don't sue us.
Uh-oh.
Did you guys ever watch? This is just an entirely different thing. I think there was an Animal Planet show where they took like B-roll footage of just this meerkat family, and they like
family. I watched that.
dubbed
Meerkat
over it.
Kingdom. It's awesome.
Wild.
If you haven't seen it, if anybody is actually, if people are watching this stream, you should totally watch it. It's amazing.
Meerkat Mansion is what I think it was
Meerkat
called.
Mansion. Yeah.
But
Anyway, there's meerkats.
They would put
there.
like little hidden cameras inside the hole.
They would make up their own drama about what was going on. It was great.
Wait, guys, are we supposed to be playing?
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
this
Anyways,
was- this was
anyways.
breakfast
yeah.
conversation.
Let's
We
get back
woke
to
up.
the serious horror game we are playing.
Yeah, we woke up. We were getting our morning coffee.
Yeah. So
and,
basically,
and Marvin was like, "Guys, you ever hear about meerkats?"
Meerkat Manor?
Meerkats, like alley cats.
No. These ones live in tunnels.
No, cats don't live in tunnels.
No, cats with a K.
No, you spell cats with a C.
No, meerkats with a
I
K.
even know that.
Yeah, I mean, as a professional English person, I graduated with a degree in English. Okay, and
I don't even have a
that
high
is
school
spelled with a
diploma.
C.
All right, fine. Don't believe me. You don't believe me about the aliens. You don't believe me about the meerkats. Two
Well, no, I
totally
believe you about
real
the aliens.
things.
Meerkats, aliens, who knows what's
I
going on
believe you
with
about the
your space
aliens, but I don't believe that cat is spelled with a K.
Who knows what's going on in your space? Not meerkats, aliens. Muhammad the Prophet. All
But-
this
Disruptions in the
sipping a
space
cup
time
of coffee.
continuum.
Spencer,
Just
did
like-
we get a morning paper or something?
yeah, you do.
this
So
paper.
you
What am I,
guys
an
wake
animal?
up. You guys wake up and Leo's it's an apartment. It's an apartment, right?
Yeah, it's like a whole floor. It's a nice apartment.
Yeah. So you guys
There's
wake
a-
up.
There's like an
yeah,
elevator that goes up. It's one of those nice apartments.
perfect. So you guys
You
wake
gotta,
up.
like, there's like a dude in the elevator.
elevator
Well-paced.
operator.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the woman who was part of the assistant and stuff like that from last week?
Oh, Catherine O'Malley, my housekeeper.
Catherine O'Malley, yeah. So Catherine, basically, I like to imagine maybe like you told her like, hey, like bring a little bit of something for everybody. You know, I don't know what everybody likes for like newspapers. Yeah, gather a bunch of different foods, spread it out.
Toast and butter.
Yeah. So she does. So she has like a variety. I like to imagine there's like
Half
a
grapefruits, coffee.
yes. So there's like a nice kind of like open living room that has like this nice kind of coffee table out. And on the coffee table, there's exactly what just Justin's described. There's bread.
Yeah, there's a
jam.
samovar of coffee.
Yeah. On top of that, she gathered several different newspapers for you guys to kind of read. There's one called the Gawking Gazette. There's the Pell Mill Papers, Ye Old Chronicle, Boundaries Explored, and then the KFA. The KFA and the Emancipator and Union Leader. So, and I can give you a little bit more of a description for all of those if you want, but that's
Let's
what
everybody just take a paper.
Mm-hmm. Actually,
Leo just starts handing out papers kind of indiscriminately.
Oh. So let me type that up real quick. So there we go. I just put that in our chat, and I'll post it. I'll post it out here too, in our Roll20.
fun fact.
There's these guys. Yeah.
When you say ye old chronicle,
Yeah.
that Y is actually a thorn and makes the TH sound.
Oh, the old Chronicle.
Yeah, they did it to save space on like writing. They did that actually kind of a lot back in the day.
It's like it's kind of like every time you see you'll see something printed with an F instead of an S.
Mhm.
They'll print like an F instead of an S, but you're supposed to read it as an S because like sometimes printing an S can be difficult. I think that might not be the exact reason. I'll have to double check that.
Or in Spanish, the letter known as the ñ, which is that N with the little tilde on top. That's actually supposed to be a double N.
Huh.
And they wrote the two N's on top of each other to save space on parchment. Because
That's so
parchment was
cool.
expensive and difficult to make.
Or like sometimes you see the A and E written together as like one, like connected in like encyclopedia.
Or Eon.
Mhm.
Aeon.
Hmm.
Encyclopedia.
Wow.
Wow.
But what's
Wow.
what's in? I want to know about what's in the Emancipator and Union Leader. That sounds the most exciting to me.
Yeah. So yeah. Everybody kind of picks a different paper. Who's picking what?
I want to take Boundaries Explored.
Boundaries Explored. All right. Dalton gets the Marvin gets the Emancipator and Union Leader. What's Leo picking and what's Butcher picking?
I'll pick the old Chronicles.
Okay, the Old Chronicle. Perfect.
Yeah.
And what's Butcher picking?
Wasn't there only one option left?
I think there's two.
Gawking Gazette and the Pell Mill Papers.
Okay. I mean, I gotta read the Gawkin Gazette. That's spicy, obviously.
Just let you guys know, I made up almost all of these papers. So, okay. So Leo and Butcher, your papers are pretty much the same. So this is kind of the story that you're able to pick up from those. So, basically, they talk about the shooting from last night. It says like, man walks out of man gets shot and walks again type deal is like the title on most of these papers. It talks about how like Pete Manusco, the poor man was mortally wounded, yet somehow was by his indomitable will was willing to stay alive and try to reach help. Unfortunately, due to his gruesome nature, he spooked the crowd and they ran over him. Yet, undeterred, the poor Meat Manusco, with his indomitable will, they keep saying that like repeatedly, like in like all caps in the dissections of the article, he rose back up again and wandered his way out the door. Unfortunately, the poor policemen who were there mistaked him for a ghoulish looking creature and shot him dead. There seems to be some ties between the speakeasy and the criminal activity. Because Pete Minusco, he's actually just a self-employed accountant, a man with a spotless record who, in a moment of weakness, entered the Smalls paradise. Police think he was mistaken for some criminal foe, which led to him being shot. We just got in from the mayor that he has announced the padlocking of Smalls Paradise, offering thanks to a cesspool, offering thanks to everyone for revealing the location of a cesspool of vice and crime. Specifically, government agent Roger Daniels testified that Smalls Paradise was, in fact, selling alcohol.
Damn it! I lost an account.
Yeah. And right next to that, like it's like it has like a picture of Roger Daniels, and he's like shaking a hand of somebody or something like that. The manager of the club, Mr. Ronald Marlowe, has been arrested for crimes against for selling alcohol. And that's what you guys kind of get. You kind of get that it's similar story, but they're claiming that he wasn't shot dead, that he just kind of got up and like tried to get out and then was shot by the police when he tried to exit out of the speakeasy. So that's what those two say. Next up, let's do Boundaries Explored. So that was Dan who picked up Boundaries Explored, right? All right. So while Marvin is a inventor and a forethinker into the future of broadcast, he does face some competitors, specifically in the written word. So within Boundaries Explored, you get several mentions of different Martian invasions that are plotted on the horizon, as well as finding the mysterious Planet 9. But in the back, you do find a small section that talks about the MINUSCO shooting, but specifically it was a Martian brainwash that beamed down directly into Pete's brain and made him gave him supernatural powers to resist bullets. And that's what Boundaries Explored claims happened the night previous.
Nice.
And then lastly, the Emancipator and Union Leader. So as you kind of look through this, Marvin, you don't get the same stories that everybody else has gotten. In fact, there's no really mention of the shooting last night at all. You get mentions of disturbances in Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, a long story that discusses Mr. Marcus Garvey, an African-American nationalist, in his military costume. Another bylined by a Mr. Dubois of the NAACP, talking about the sharecropping system in the South and its implications for the African-American health, education, and general livelihood. But specifically, one of the things you do notice, Marvin, in the way back, there is a mention of the Morgan and Dupuy funeral home. Turns out there is a funeral and procession scheduled at 11 a.m. today for Frederick Lincoln Fayette. And that's what you noticed, which was the same as the business card you got that was dropped.
Yeah, it's
So.
the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, can you remind me what that business card said, or is it in my handouts, or?
Yeah. It should be in the handouts.
Morgan and Dupuy Christian Funeral Home, serving families of African descent since 1851. West 145th Street, Harlem, New York City. And then scrawled on the back was 11 a.m. sharp, bring your horn, New Orleans style. So it looks like that band is going to be performing, like, going to be at the funeral, and is probably part of the memorial service.
I think that's...
And I would like to remind you that they were really weird about the fact that they just like kept playing on through.
Yeah, they were really weird about that.
While the shooting was like happening and people were panicking, they just kind of like kept playing.
It's like a lot, you know?
Yeah. I think that might be something worth looking into.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Was there anything in the other two papers, Spencer? Of note?
Nothing of new information. That's like mostly just a recap of the situation. The main story that seems to be saying is that like most people are just saying that like he was shot. Manusco, you find his name is Pete Manusco. He was a self-employed accountant. He was shot but not killed. And continued to like try to get help, but because of the crazy nature that alcohol possesses on the body, he was ran over by a crowd and then shot by police. So,
Yeah, he was probably drinking absinthe or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
That weird stuff.
But that's mainly the main
The weird
information
stuff.
kind of
That stuff's like stuff.
Yeah, he was possessed by the green spirit or green fairy. Sorry.
But just to let you know, it's probably about like 8 a.m. Like you read through the papers, you're enjoying your coffee. It's like 8 a.m. You have till 11 till the funeral kind of like starts. So you have some time if you wanted to do explore anything else in the city. I'm actually gonna drag you to a photo of Harlem, a map of Harlem. Sorry, let me make sure. Oh no, that's perfect. Okay, so let me drag you to Harlem. So let me review a few things on the map because you do know a few locations. So I'm gonna get this set up while you guys kind of discuss what you want to do. Okay.
Roger that.
I don't know. I don't know New York well. We're in Manhattan, which is south.
Hold on, I'm
Harlem?
zooming out on this map. Let's see. Hell's Kitchen is kind of in the center on the west side. Let's see. I'm gonna put a map of it. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, so it's on the west side, and it's actually south of the park. So if we're looking at this map, I actually think this map is upside down.
Cool.
But none of the streets are labeled on this map, so I'm having trouble.
Oh, there's.
Some of
Wait,
them are.
where's Mount Morris Park?
No, this isn't. I don't think this is upside down.
No, it's not. Yep. So that's on. So Hell's Kitchen is actually much further south.
Yeah.
Than this map is. So yeah. So this is actually correct. I was getting a little confused because of the river. Oh, there it is. There's West 135th. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Hell's
sorry.
Kitchen is actually much further south. So you see where Central Park is?
Yep.
Hell's Kitchen is on like the southeast or the southwest corner.
Okay.
Of Central Park.
Got it.
Sorry, all of the names of like the streets and stuff was on the GM layer, so I had to move it all to it.
Oh,
So
you're fine.
Actually, it's funny. So that park is now called Marcus Garvey Park.
Which one?
Mount whatever.
Mount Morris?
Mount Morris, yeah. Mount Morris Park is now called Marcus Garvey Park.
But which number is the funeral home, Spencer?
yeah, so it's number 2. So the funeral home where that's going to be happening is number 2.
Ooh.
And they are going to the Trinity Church Cemetery. So basically, they're going to do the procession from 2 to 1. Some of the other locations to show you. Number 3 is the subway line. 4 is probably only Leo knows unless he divulged this to the party. But that's where the car was left and dropped off when people scattered. So I'm just letting you know about that. Number 5, this is the Smalls Paradise, which has been padlocked thanks to the mayor's brave efforts to close down the vile cesspool of crime.
Hurt my livelihood.
This is Harlem's Hospital number 6. Number 8 is the public library. Number 9 is Columbia University, and 10 is St. John's Cathedral. So, just so you guys kind of have like a spatial awareness of kind of like the map of where you've been and what you're kind of doing. So,
Also, fun fact, around like number 10, that's where How I Met Your Mother is kind of supposed to be set.
Okay.
Yeah, around one.
Interesting.
that's
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, they live uptown, which is why they have that giant apartment for super cheap. Wow. Wow.
So, were there any other leads that we had? I don't believe so. Correct?
I think the biggest thing was this. There was
Yeah.
there was one other thing that I'm blanking on.
Well, the the man we met said that we could schedule another time to talk because our conversation kind of got interrupted, I believe.
Modern public transit has it taking about half an hour.
Leo knows that Leo has the gang knowledge. So he recognized the shooter as
Right.
Joey Larson, I believe, who's a part of like the boss's gang, the Archie Boss Bonato's gang.
That's
So
right.
that's
Mhm.
something that Leo knows, and especially like tracking down their hideout and stuff, he kind of recognizes from his experience and being in the kind of, the seedy underbelly of the city, shall we say. So
Yeah. Okay. I don't know how much we could really be getting done in the couple hours before getting to the funeral area. I think we might want to just head right over there and get a look around before things get going.
it's up to you guys. I would allow you guys to stop by like one or two locations, especially if it's on the way. So
And we don't really know what's on the way
sure.
or what would be like
Let's see.
useful.
So, well, it depends on how we go, so we can pop in and, depending upon what we really want to do, although I'm not really sure why we would do this, I mean, unless Leo being super Catholic, would pop into St. John's.
Is it Sunday?
No, but that's, I mean, especially old school Catholics, very devout ones would go every day.
That's true.
Um, and they especially may have gone to tithe and light a candle for protection real quick, if they knew they were going to go do something dangerous. So maybe Leo would do this.
Just to let you know too, it can be locations outside of the ones posted here. So remember last time how you went to the library and did kind of stuff like that? Like
Yeah.
and the only reason I'm helping you guys out is because I know it's different. You can go to the police station if you want to talk to the police. I know that's not favored by Leo, but
No,
that's
no, it's
that's
not.
an option. You can like investigate more. You can talk to some of the newspapers if you wanted to kind of like actually visit their office and kind of see where they got their information from. You can do stuff like that if you wanted, but if you want to go straight to the funeral, that is also a perfectly valid option too.
Yeah, like I'm just trying to think if like what we would really get out of like say going to the papers. Like all of that stuff is really like that's public information. That's all out there. Like there wasn't really any like information bombs dropped that like I would expect like that would be difficult to find out. Like we could go to the library, but I don't know what we would really be
Researching.
or looking up at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we're gonna go to the library afterwards, we probably can just go to we could probably just go to the Columbia campus.
Yeah,
and
like
go to the library there.
like I might want to do something about like music and like whether or not like there's any rituals about like raising the dead with music, but I don't think that's super clear, or I don't know how much I would be able to find in the hour
Yeah.
we really have before going to this funeral. So I think advantageous wise, it might be good for us to go to where the procession is taking place and get a little bit of a look around.
You have like 3 hours because it's like 8 a.m. So it doesn't start till 11.
Right, but it
You're
takes
thinking about travel?
yeah, it takes time to get there.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's already half hour to an hour of just getting there. I don't know, does anybody else have any ideas or thoughts?
I mean, I think we should just go to the funeral. I say rip it and just go. That's my thought, but we don't have to.
All right, Leo,
Yeah.
Butcher.
It's just a gut feeling.
We can go.
Butcher, you've been kind of quiet.
Mm. Do you think we could meet back up with the professor? Who's professor, right?
Professor Ronduay.
Ron. Yes, that was it. I was trying to remember it. I don't know how I forgot.
Dan, it was you that set us up with him. Do you think we could go find him? You know where? Kind of more.
Give him a ring.
I think we were connected through mail or something. I have no idea how my character would be connected to him. So
However you
you're gonna
want.
have to help me
You-
out here, Spencer.
Full free reign, however you want. If you want it to be by telegram, if you want it to be correspondence over mail, whatever you like to do.
Yeah, sure. I know him through the university system, and let's send him. I can. He's at Columbia University right now, and
Yeah.
we can just go there.
Yeah, 100%.
Sweet. Okay.
Perfect.
Yep.
It's on our way too.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
So on the way, we can see if we can get a hold of Professor Rundaway.
Okay. So you stop by St. John's Cathedral. I think that like Leo does his candle lighting, right?
Oh yeah, especially if there's a funeral there. There's some praying going on.
Perfect. So you do that. Then you head on to the Columbia University. You're able to track down his office, but you notice that he's not there at this time in the morning. So you can slip a paper underneath his door or something like that, but he seems to be absent from his office right now.
Are we able to send him a message?
Does he have
Or,
office hours posted?
Yes. Let's say it's what I say. What day is it? It's like Friday, isn't it? Yeah. I'll say his office hours are from 2 to 4 p.m.
On Fridays?
Yes.
Okay. We can come back during his office hours.
All right.
So do we want
I'm
to
guessing
go
the
to the
door's
funeral
locked.
and
Like we
then go
can't
to
get
his
into his
office?
office, right?
It is locked. Yeah.
We can come back unless we want to break in.
It is the morning on a campus on a Friday. There are other people walking around.
Hey, how about them lock picking skills? I look over to Leo.
All right. How about them lock picking skills?
You can make an attempt.
Let's take a little quick look around to see what kind of
So that's the thing. Yeah. If you want it, there are
how populated we are.
Marvin is right. It's not really. It's a campus, and it's in the kind of like early in the day, so people are moving around. So if you wanted to try to break in and do it stealthily, we would have this as a combined skill roll, right? We do a stealth check, and then we do the lock picking.
Yeah, like we would have like Marvin, Dan, and Butcher. We would like fan out like to other ends of the hallway, make sure people aren't coming down the hallway.
Yeah.
Give Leo
So-
some space to work if we wanted to do that. Or we could come back later.
Yeah, so I would say that you could do a stealth check if Marvin and like Dan are kind of and Butcher are kind of like trying to block people from coming in, they could do something like fast talk or intimidation to try to like persuade people not to like come around right now. But it's up to you guys.
Is there a supply closet?
Sure. Like with like a
Okay.
mop and like a
Yeah,
bucket.
with like a mop and wet floor signs, so we can put them on either side of the thing and be like, "Nah, don't come this way."
Yeah, absolutely. There is probably like a bathroom nearby in the supply closet. You're clearly able to kind of like it's unlocked. You grab the signs, and you're able to kind of put them out and stuff like that. So
Okay.
you might get a
Um,
few people trying to tiptoe their way through, but most people are kind of like avoiding the hallway now.
Great. All right. Is that gonna give me like a bonus die?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Cool, because I'm gonna need that. All right.
So
obviously not on the lockpick, but on the stealth part.
yeah, so Leo's doing the stealth and then lock picking. What is everybody else doing?
Oh well, actually, so my lockpicking skills suck. I'm usually just breaking indoors. Now,
Are you gonna break in the door?
I'd really like to not, but just so everybody knows, like I am not a locksmith. That's not really my like.
It's not
I'm
your
a
bag.
Booze,
If
Leo, I'm a booze runner. I'm not really a.
Okay.
Not
If
really
if
like
we
a-
don't have a person who
like a
isn't
grease man.
confident to like get in here undetected, we should
Yeah,
just
I'm not
come
a
back during
ninja. I
office
mean,
hours.
the only thing that I can think is like maybe I can walk in and be, "Hi, I am here to
Pretend to be a new professor.
yeah, like something like that. I'm here to look at some stuff."
Assistant professor too. Professor runned away.
Yeah, you could be reporting to him. He could be your department head.
See if somebody can.
We can be
open
smart
this
about
door
this.
for us.
We could try to be smart, and I'm good at fast talk. I can fast talk them if someone catches me. I can be like, "Ah, blah, 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 blah," hey.
I can do that too. I'm pretty good at that too. I'm a smooth talker.
What? So yeah, so you're gonna try to smooth talk your way into his office. So you're trying to say like, what are you trying to do again, Dan?
I don't think it matters.
No, I don't think it matters because I personally think it is a bad idea and we should just come back during his office hours.
Yeah.
Oh look, the guy that's always talking about aliens thinks this is a bad idea. Wow.
I don't know what those things. have to
Well,
do with it.
actually, Butcher, then that should tell you how bad of an idea it is.
Touche.
All right, so let's put away this equipment real fast, and then let's just check out the let's go check out where I ended up trashing that guy's car.
Okay. Just letting you, if there was inspiration in this game, I would have given it to you, Justin, because the wet floor signs I thought was a really creative way to kind of like stop
thanks.
people from coming on. But hey,
Well,
at least
that was the purpose of the I mean, because the purpose of inspiration would have been to use to be able to get that advantage on a roll.
Yeah.
But that's what the bonus die was, right? So
Mhm.
when we're talking about how to like with your D for those people who are joining our stream right now, there's a lot of freedom that you get in this game. So maybe thinking because there isn't necessarily, or whatever, like be like, okay, we're gonna use inspiration because I like that mechanic and I want you to be able to like save like this reward that I'm giving you.
Yeah.
Because there's no rule. I mean, in fact, the book actually says that you're allowed to kind of do this kind of thing. At the very beginning of the books, the rule of cool, which really kind of exists in most TTRPGs. So if you like the mechanic of inspiration, have inspiration. You're the storyteller. You're the lore keeper. You're the game master, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
So feel empowered to reward your players for doing good stuff. Don't be don't be so draconian that like just because it's not there, it doesn't. I'm not going to do it. When specifically it does say at the beginning of the book, you're allowed to change, tweak, whatever you want about the game to make sure that it's more balanced or more fun. So everybody should feel empowered. You know, the lore keeper should feel empowered. So we don't have to do it, but like, you know, if it's like, hey, good idea, you get advantage on this roll, or you get a bonus die, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. It's really nice that at least Call of Cthulhu rewards creativity a lot with that, which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
So we pack up the stuff. We're going up to site. What is it? 1?
Number 4, the old garage.
Number 4, the old garage.
Or were you going to cut it straight to the funeral home? Because you've already stopped at 2 locations and it's getting pretty close to 11 o'clock.
Now, oh wait, and 11 o'clock is when the funeral is?
Yes.
Why would we stop at the garage? Was there something I missed about the garage, or is it just that
Oh,
it's
I
labeled?
thought, Justin, was that your idea? I thought you said you wanted to
No,
stop
no,
at
no.
the
You
garage.
just listed.
I misheard. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, are you going to
I
the
think we're
funeral?
going to the funeral. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought okay, I totally misheard. Okay, cool. Yep, you make it to the funeral home. Okay, so I'm gonna change things here for a
I
second.
don't know. I think the lore keeper is trying to hide something at the old garage.
Yeah. Something we don't know.
All right, so you're at the
Made mistakes in
church.
the past, and now we're paranoid.
Well, it's the funeral home. But anyways, all right, this is a funeral home. All right. So you walk in, and of course, it's. Has everyone been to kind of a funeral home? This isn't the right scene. This is more of a church, but it's kind of the background I'm going to go for. But has everybody been to kind of like if you've been to a funeral, it's kind of like where you go to the funeral home and they'll have the casket open or closed, but you can kind of like usually have like there's some stands with like photographs and like old things that they liked or something like that, and the same thing is kind of set up here as well. You see kind of like the casket is actually it is open, and you see like honoring Frederick Lincoln Fayette at like above as kind of like a banner, and then to kind of greet, or if next to the casket seems to be kind of like a woman of similar age to him, just kind of greeting everybody who kind of walks up and such like that. For the most part, like it's a somber tone. Everybody's sad. It's a funeral, so like nobody's really in a good mood. And yeah, everybody's just kind of like milling about and kind of like, there's a little line that goes to go look into the casket, but most people are kind of like just like standing around aimlessly. So, and you do see the band there if you're looking for the band. They're kind of like off in the corner, but they're not playing. They don't have their instruments. They're just kind of like in their nice suits and just kind of like, greeting everybody who comes in.
So I whisper.
They don't have their instruments?
Mm-mm.
Well, he lost the note that reminded him to bring his horn. He didn't remember.
Right.
So I whisper over to the other investigators, and I'm like, so what's the over-under on these guys resurrecting this dead man here, too?
That's what I'm curious about.
So we're on the same wavelength here.
I want to go up to the band members.
Sure, yeah.
And
you approach them. There's one clear member that you recognize as the singer from the previous night. His name is Charlie Johnson, as well as the other band members, which was the bass player, the guitarist, and the drummer, who are just kind of standing behind him. But
no horn player?
The horn player's not there.
He's not there.
No.
Oh, okay. I want to ask about that.
Okay. So you approach him and he goes, "Oh, hey, you're one of the guys from last night. You made it home okay, right?"
Yeah, we made it back just fine. I'm glad to see you're doing all right. You seem to be down a man. Is he okay?
Oh, you're talking about Leroy, aren't you? Yeah, no, he's fine. He's supposed to show up. I don't know when he'll get here.
Okay. Well, I mean, he dropped this on his way out.
And
I hand
do you hand him?
Yeah, I hand him the business card. And no, maybe he he forgot, but like, is there somebody who asked you to be here today? Like, who brought you on? Like, why perform here? Why do this?
Oh, this is my brother-in-law.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he kind of looks over. He kind of like waves you to kind of like lean in and stuff. He's
Mhm.
like, he got shot a couple days ago. It's been hard on, well, my sister. So,
Oh,
yeah,
our condolences. I'm very sorry to hear that.
yeah.
Mm.
But yeah. So we're just supposed to play in the procession today. I'm honoring him that way, you know.
Mm-hmm. Good thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Um,
What brought you? So this business card, and he hands it back to you. So
Mhm.
that's what brought you here today. You were just come to check things out.
yeah. Well, we wanted to make sure we dropped the business card, saw that you were gonna be at a place, wanted to make sure y'all were doing okay after last night,
Yeah.
everything that went down. Pay our respects to a good man, and then probably be on our way.
Yeah, well, you know, whatever crazy stuff happens, life moves on, right? So, thanks for being here. Tell you and your friends that they're more than welcome to stay here, and they want to hear our plan as we kind of go on.
Mhm.
I welcome you all here with open arms.
Yeah, of course. Hopefully, said Leroy. Hopefully, Leroy gets here. Hopefully, he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's a drunk, so you know he'll wake up when he wants to and join when he wants. So
You know what direction he might be coming from?
who knows? I mean, I haven't seen him yet.
Right, well, if we see him, we'll tell him to run.
Get here.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Would love that. And he
Okay.
chuckles.
Yeah. Okay, I go back to the party, and if they weren't there to hear that, I let them know everything that was said in the conversation and stuff.
Ah, thanks for catching us up, eh?
Yeah.
I like to think, meanwhile, while Marvin's having this conversation too, maybe an older woman comes up to like Dan, Leo, and Butcher and goes, "Oh, hello! What are you guys doing here? How do you know Mr. Fayette?"
Oh, Mr. Fayette and I were
Yeah.
business associates. Actually, I came here to pay an invoice. But since you're his widow, why don't you just take this money?
Oh, no,
here,
no,
huh?
no! I'm
No, I
grandmother to the second cousin. How you said your business
condolences. Here,
associates?
have a little gift. Little gift.
Oh, what? Okay. What do you hand her?
I don't know, $20.
Woo! Oh, wait, this is. I can't take. I'll give it to Mrs. Fayette. Oh, oh goodness me! And she kind of wanders back because $20 is a lot of money.
$20 is like a lot of money. It's like
It's a lot of money.
It's sizable. I think it's like $150.
Yeah, the older woman wanders back up to the younger woman standing next to the coffin and hands her the $20. So she looks a bit surprised. Then the old woman points at you, Leo. The younger woman kind of like nods her head to you, and then puts the money away.
Oh, it's like $300. Oops.
Forget about it.
Oops.
You
All right, that
don't
was
know.
more money than I kind of thought, but whatever. All right.
Yeah, so I'd gone over with Marvin because I was
Oh, okay.
that's curious as well to uh
You say anything to Charlie? Yeah.
the band. Yeah, so my main question, I mean, I kind of stay behind and I question Charlie Johnson. So, you know that song you played back at the last night. How'd you come up with that? Where'd you get that song?
Are you talking about Dr. Jazz or Paradise Wobble?
Oh, you said it was Dead Man Stomp, didn't you?
Oh, Dead Man's. Oh, when Leroy came in. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just we're
Was
always
that
trying
his?
something new. What's that?
Was that his song?
Well, we do
He
need
came
a.
in for it.
Yeah, we need a horn player for that one specifically. That's don't know. Say what you will about Leroy. He is a talented horn player. So, but I'm sorry, Charlie Johnson. Did I get your names before?
I'm Butcher.
Butcher.
You can just call me Butcher.
Nice to meet you, Butcher. And you're Marvin.
Oh, we went back to that. Yeah, Mr. Martin.
Cool. Perfect.
I kind of nudge Marvin, be like, like kind of let's back up. Let's have a conversation on our own.
Yeah, you don't need to be so creepy about it. But okay.
All right, thank you, Charlie.
And I'm Dan.
Hey, Dan.
I haven't asked you any questions. I've kind of just been looking around,
No, it's fine. Make yourself at home.
zoning out a little bit. So, yeah.
What were you saying?
Thanks for the welcome.
Yeah, well, Dan is having fun with the band.
Yeah.
What's up, Butcher? You got a brain blast?
Yeah. So I assume we walk, outside of your, earshot distance.
You could step outside too.
Yeah, I think we step outside.
Yeah, we could step outside. It's probably real quiet in here.
Is everyone stepping outside together? Like, is Leo joining with them and Dan as well, or?
Yeah, Leo will just kind of be quiet, and as they step outside, Leo will light up a stogie.
Okay, cool. All right, continue. Sorry.
So, I think this horn is our problem.
I think you might be right.
There was something different when he came up. He was the missing piece for this song, and that was the whole catalyst of everything that went on last night.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something different about that horn. I noticed. I think we need to make sure he doesn't get in here, and they don't play that song again. And if we can get a hold of the horn, maybe it'll tell us more.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right, based on what's going on. Like, I was trying to see who was telling him to bring his horn today, but it sounds like the band either wasn't willing to say, or they probably just didn't care too much. But since he's not here, we might be able to fan out a little bit and look for him, maybe stop him from showing up, catch him on his way in.
Idea.
How many entrances to this funeral parlor?
Funeral home?
Yeah.
Maybe like 2. Maybe there's like 2 main front doors and stuff like that.
Yeah. We want to split up. 2 of us take the front door, 2 of us take the back door, and kind of keep an eye out for this guy.
Yeah, I'll take the front door. Who wants to come with me?
I'll go with you, Dan.
All right, then Leo, you and I.
Back door, huh?
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Don't be conspicuous about it. Don't just like post up like you're bouncing. Like,
But that's what I was gonna do. Damn it!
I've never been a bouncer at a funeral before.
yeah, that's what we should do. We should just be a bunch of white folks showing up,
Do you want
trying to
Do we
keep
want to
people
just
out of an African American man's funeral.
Do we want to just like cry? Like just cry like really, really convincingly. Just like get on our knees and just
Inconspicuous.
It's like Wedding Crashers, but funeral crashers.
No.
It's like the part of Wedding Crashers when Will Ferrell crashes the funerals to get laid. It's like that part.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like the opposite of that.
But so Spencer, Mr. Lorekeeper,
Yes.
we post
Yes.
up. We're keeping an eye out
Yep.
for guy with a horn. We saw it. Was it a French horn? Was it a trumpet? Was it?
It was a trumpet, but like
Trumpet.
you
Trumpet
would
with 4
recognize
valves.
him.
Okay.
Yeah. You would recognize, you guys were like in close proximity with each other last night. The only one who probably wouldn't recognize him is maybe Leo, because Leo wasn't with the gang really.
I mean, he was
But
there
you-
at the performance. He was watching the show.
Yeah, good point. So,
I wouldn't recognize him, but I know that the trumpet had 4 valves because that's odd.
yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Surely the man's not an animal, would be carrying it in a case with him.
Wow, I did not catch that detail. I don't know when, Spencer, you described the trumpet as having four valves, but
Yeah, yeah.
It
Good
was
catch.
when you guys there was a scene where he was trying to get past you guys and Pete was very rude to him,
Mhm.
but Dan picked him up and moved him, and then I believe it was Butcher who got the spot hidden check and was able to see the valves.
Okay.
So, yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
so
feel like if that was something that he was up there on stage, Leo would have noticed that because trumpets usually have 3 valves. This one
Mhm.
has 4. It's also shorter. It's a different shape. I feel like Leo
So-
would have picked up on that.
So you guys post up and are
Yeah.
guarding the entrances
Yeah.
to this funeral home.
before we split
Um,
up, I remind Dan and Butcher, hey, this guy's a bit of a drinker, so if we're trying to keep him out, maybe just invite him for a drink or something, and that might convince him to come along with you.
Well, Leo's got a flask in his pocket, so
Nice.
he just
What, then I mug him or something?
No, we just
Huh?
want to keep him away from performing and ask him some questions and get a better idea.
Okay.
Yeah,
what
a
he's doing.
little snort before the show.
Yeah.
Out back in
Man
the
dying
alley.
is enough trauma. Him coming back to life would be too much.
Flasky flask.
All right, cool. So we're set up. We have a plan.
yes.
We're watching for him.
So you're watching for him, and probably a half an hour goes by. And guest comers are coming and going. You don't recognize anybody. You don't see anybody with a trumpet, and you don't see Leroy either. And then as you kind of hear from kind of movement inside the funeral home, they're going to start the procession. So they start lining up. And you see like 6 pallbearers emerge from the hall carrying the long pine coffin. You see kind of like posted out front, there's 2 policemen on motorcycles about to lead the way and control traffic at the different intersections. At this point in time, you see Charlie and the band kind of grab their instruments and kind of get ready to kind of start to play. So they're getting ready to start walking down the street with the procession down
But
to
no
the funeral.
Leroy.
No Leroy. You haven't seen any Leroy yet. So
Okay. Cool. I think now we do similar thing, just like walking with the procession, but keeping an eye out
Yeah.
for
keep an eye out. Yeah.
for
I
Leroy.
agree.
So I'm changing the scene here. So the funeral procession starts. Charlie Johnson's Paradise Orchestra strike up "I'll See You on Judgment Day," and the mourners fall in behind. So all of you are
Leo
kind of walking.
Hears hears the band start to play, and he kind of pops back in front.
Are you so like are you guys
He's
like
just in the back smoking a cigar, like I don't know what's going on, waiting for this drunk to show up. I'm gonna smoke my stogie.
so yeah, so obviously how it's kind of set up is they have the pallbearers in front, right? And it's led by the 2 policemen. Right behind them is Charlie Johnson's band, and behind them are kind of like the mourners. Like you have the wife obviously in front of that, like right behind the band, but then like other mourners kind of like walking behind them. Are you guys gonna try to join that crowd? Or are you gonna try to get on like the sidewalks and like walk along, or how are we doing this?
Leo's gonna stay on the side of the crowd,
Mhm.
so he can get in and out easy, not like be sandwiched in the middle of the group. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna try and integrate into the crowd as much as he can. Put the collar up, and put his hat low, and
Yeah,
just be kind of part of the mass.
perfect. Is everybody else doing something similar, or what's everybody else doing?
Yeah, I agree. I think we should probably stay on the sides and the fringes.
Okay.
Yep, I agree.
All right. So the Charlie Johnson's Paradise Orchestra plays slow and soulful renditions of hymn after hymn. The musicians walk in a line behind the coffin, with Charlie Johnson at their head and the drummer in the rear. The bass drum strapped to his chest, all maintain a serious and noble bearing. Passing some of the storefronts on your way to the burial ground, Everyone gets a unnerving feeling of being watched, and I want everyone to make a spot hidden roll.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh, here we go. Is anybody gonna spot the hiddens?
I got a 1.
All right. So for those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Wow.
In Call of Cthulhu, the rolling system works a little counterintuitively if you've only played Dungeons and Dragons. Lower numbers are better. So a 1 is a critical success, and a 100 is a critical failure. We've gone over. Please do check out our streams. We're available on YouTube for maybe some of the more details. But so we can just keep the stream rolling. But Dan just got an excellent roll.
Yeah. I had a 1.
Ooh. And Leo did pretty well too. One of the cool things about Call of Cthulhu is that there are degrees of success. So if you roll under a certain threshold, you succeed more than you normally would if you only rolled just kind of the basic value you would need to do a task. My spot hidden. Ooh,
Christian,
just
your
missed
spot hidden
the
is
grade.
60?
Yeah.
Damn.
Man,
He's got good
Yeah.
eyes.
yeah. Seeing eyes.
Yeah, it's come with the trade,
Yeah.
with
You gotta
dealings behind the scenes.
spot that good marbling.
That too.
Um,
That too.
I
Really though.
I got a
good
not
count.
a extreme success, but what's the one in between Lore Keeper?
A hard
I rolled less
success.
than success.
Yeah. So
I-
it goes.
I failed. I think I was the only one that failed.
So, here's how this kind of works out. So how the band, it's about to make like a turn, right? So you're about to turn at like to make a right turn on the street, right? So it's like you're hitting a cross section, you're making a right turn. Before anybody else, Dan immediately spots Leroy. Leroy, he's in a doorway across the street, and he's just smoking a cigarette. But you see it because you maybe like there's a gleam of sunlight that goes off the silver finished trumpet, and it catches your eye, and you're like, oh. And then you see Leroy just kind of smoking. He's like in like a doorway in one of the apartments, just like hanging off, like waiting for the band to kind of like walk by, and he's just smoking a cigarette. So you see him kind of like before they start to make the turn, but he's still like out in front of you, right? Like there's like the crowd, you're on the fringes, and the motorcycles are like turning, and he's like right where the motorcycles are. And let's see here. There's something else.
So how far would you say is the distance between us?
I'm gonna say, let's see, how long is this thing? Probably about 40 to 50 feet, probably 50 feet away, because he's kind of like that. I'm trying to think of how long, like it'd be them, the casket, then like, the band, and then the wife, and then the crowd starts, right? So the motorcycles are like out in front. Dan, here's the thing though. Because you rolled a critical success, a 1 out of 100, the feeling of being watched is not, you still, even though you spot Leroy, you feel like you're still being watched by something else. And as you kind of like, you catch the gleam, as you kind of look over your shoulder, the rat-like man that you saw in the club last night is following along silently, not in the back of the crowd, but further back, maybe about the same distance, 40 back at the edge of the back of the crowd, just kind of like he, like how you spot him, he was like peeking around a corner, and then you look over your shoulder and he goes back behind the corner. So you see that as well behind you.
Okay. So do you want to resolve like what everyone else sees first, or do you want me to take my action?
We're gonna do this. I'm gonna have you take your action just as like a full turn, and then we're gonna go into turn order just to keep everything in order. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling everybody up so we can start getting people in turn order. But I want you, yes, to start to go ahead and describe what you're going to do with this knowledge.
Right. So I'm with Butcher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I immediately just say to Butcher, like, hey, Leroy's like, whatever. I use the clock, right? And I'm like, hey, don't be obvious about it. But we've got Leroy to, our 12 o'clock or 11 or whatever, right? And then right on our 6, like way behind us, is that dude who blew the guy's head off last night. So we really, I think we're about to get trapped, honestly. I kind of want to maneuver and double back, and but I don't want to lose sight of Leroy. So, you keep an eye on Leroy, and I'm gonna kind of just start walking back, towards Leo and Marvin, and let them know that there's someone following us. And then I start walking back, I guess.
To where
Leo and Marvin are.
Okay. So you're walking to where Leo and Marvin are to kind of inform them about what's about seeing basically the rat-like man, right? So
Rat.
did Leo tell everybody about Joey Larson? Does everybody know who he is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We
So-
talked about how Joey Larson's part of the
boss's gang.
Yeah, the boss, and he's not
Archie's the boss.
my boss. That's his street name. He's
Yeah.
this, captain of one of the local gangs.
Yeah. So Dan, you would know that that's Joey Larson then. So
we got what's his name
Joey
in
Larson.
front of us, and we got Joey Larson behind us. I'm gonna go tell the fellas.
all right. You're able to make your way over there, but since you spent time talking to Butcher and informing him about everything, you can make it to the other. Because everybody else is on the other side of the crowd, so you're working your way through the crowd. But probably next turn you'll be able to get through and then tell them about them.
Okay.
So going in turn order, Marvin and Leo, you both have 70. So usually these are decided. You guys make just a D100 roll to see who kind of goes first. Did you guys want to go ahead and do that?
Cool.
Well, actually, it's usually by the combat. Here, I'll look up the rules, but go ahead and make that D100 roll.
FYI, Spencer,
Yes.
the turn order is blank for us.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, how the heck did that happen?
Roll 20. Roll ready doing this thing. All right. Well, I go first.
Do you see
Now-
Butcher in there?
Now they're showing
I
up.
see
Yeah.
Butcher. I see Dan. I see
All right.
me.
Can everybody put
There we
in,
go.
because I know Leo and Marvin have 70, but I forget what everybody else has. Does Butcher have 50?
Dex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Dan, you have 40, right? 40 decks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
I
we
also
go.
don't have permission for Dan's token, so I can't see his name or anything.
Really? I thought you changed that. Okay.
No, not this one. I have access to everybody else's, but I don't have access to Dan's.
Weird.
Oh, I gave it to Ashley for some reason. All right, I might have to pull the token back on. Let's see here. All right, how about now, Dalton?
Yep. You'll have to add this new one to. Okay, cool.
All right, perfect. Okay, so Leo, you're gonna go first.
And so Leo was aware of the feeling of being watched.
Right, and then you succeeded, correct, Leo, on your spot hidden roll.
Yeah, I got a great success, not a critic or
Hard success.
a heart. Whoa. So I rolled less than half, but not less than 1/5.
Yeah, hard. So it goes
Hard beat hard.
success, hard success, extreme success.
Right. Okay. So I got a hard success.
Cool. Yeah. You spot Leroy as well. Probably the trumpet still shining, like hits your eye. However, the parade has moved a little bit more, so it's like he's like near where the pallbearers are at and stuff, just smoking a cigarette as they're kind of turning. So
Do I see Dan moving
Moving?
across the crowd?
I would say so, because like Dan's a
All right,
big
so
guy.
when I see Dan, so I see Leroy, but I see Dan moving toward us. I'm gonna kind of break off to the sidewalk a little bit
Okay,
and light up another cigarette.
perfect. Yeah. Marvin, you doing the same thing?
I mean,
Or
I
what are you
failed
doing?
my spot
Oh,
hidden
yeah,
check,
you
so
don't-
I don't.
Yeah, you're just walking along. all
I'm pretty
happy
out of the
about it.
loop on this one.
You do see.
Oh, but I'm next to him, right?
Yeah.
I
so you
I kind of like I give him a little tap on the
Mhm.
chest real quick, and then I break off onto the sidewalk.
so
I guess I follow Leo then.
okay, cool. Butcher, you you succeeded as well because you spent luck, right?
Yeah.
So you spot Leroy, and then you see Dan, like after kind of doing like one of these maneuvers, like start walking through the crowd. So
Can I look at Chris? Can I look at Butcher and kind of look at him and then look over at him and then like nod forward, like in one of these like, but like less conspicuous than I'm doing it right now.
yeah, sure.
Say
Right.
Butcher realizes
Like a keep on him kind of thing. Like I see Dan, I see what Dan's doing. You just stay on him for right now. Like
I say Butcher definitely realizes the nonverbal communication is Leo's throwing down here, and it sticks with Dan.
Perfect. Cool. So so you're following Dan through the crowd to get to the other side?
no, he's keeping a beat on or unless
Leroy?
I'm wrong in this. Yeah, he's keeping a beat on Leroy. That was like what the nonverbal communication was supposed to convey.
Well, how does Butcher interpret it? What was Butcher doing?
I'm sorry, I thought you were telling me to stay on Dan because you guys are
All
gonna.
right, well that's what you think you're supposed to do.
We'll just
Wait,
find
but
out.
didn't I say what? Keep an eye.
Oh yeah, Dan did tell you, like, yeah.
Keep an eye on Leroy.
So it's up to you, Butcher. Whatever you want to do. If you want to stay on the fringe of the crowd on the other side, or follow Dan and be like, no, I got to figure this out.
I feel like so Butcher's can be stubborn. Like or maybe I should have been a mule. Maybe that was the animal. I don't know.
Yeah, you changed your answer to
Anyway.
mule.
Yeah, let's change it. No, so I'm concerned for Dan's safety. I'm gonna stick with Dan. I'm not gonna
All right.
Dan.
Cool. All right. So you start following Dan through the crowd. Dan, Butcher listens to you, chooses not to follow your advice and starts to follow you through the crowd as well. And you're able to now, if you want to continue what you're doing before, you're able to get over to where Leo has pulled off with Marvin and is smoking his stogie. So you're able to kind of get to them and communicate everything that you've seen so far, if you'd like.
Yeah, so I do communicate, and I specifically communicate that I think we're about to be pincered. I've just got a feeling. Saw Leroy up front, Joey in the back. Don't feel like a coincidence.
Yeah. All right.
I think we should split and tackle
You mean you
both
get to go
sides.
back the way you just came, Butcher?
You know, yeah, whatever we got to do, or somebody else can.
Okay. All right. Look, I'm gonna go. I know Joey. Maybe I can reason with him, and before we have to get violent, I'm gonna break off. Let's see if I can't interrupt his movement. Why don't one of you, whoever's quicker, make your way back across the crowd here and see if you can intercept the Jasmine.
Yeah, and I can go with you.
All right.
So, I just gave you a little moment to kind of have your kind of plans to get together. We'll still continue doing player order just to kind of like keep things organized, but Dan's turn is now over, and here's what kind of happens with the procession so far. So it's still rounding the corner, and it's now gotten to probably about where the band is. So Leroy finishes his cigarette, throws it on the ground, stamps it out with his foot, walks towards the band, and he lifts his trumpet, and the band strikes up. Closer walk with thee. He clumps alongside Johnson, puts the horns to his lips, and starts to blow melancholy notes in fine counterpoint to Johnson's cornet. A rolling murmur through the crowd testifies to the music's beauty. So that's what's currently happening right now. And before we continue on, let's go ahead and take a quick break. Come back and kind of resolve kind of like what's going on at this point in moment. I think Ashley's about to join us, so we might take about 10 to 15 minutes to come back just to make sure she's in and we're all settled. But stay tuned. We're going to finish out what's kind of going on. We're leaving off where we're in this funeral procession, and at the front is the mysterious horn player with the mysterious fourth valve trumpet joining the band. And in the back, the party is being tailed by a mobster, a gangster who committed the crime the night before. So we'll find out more here soon.
Get some action, y'all. Stay tuned.
Soon.
It's getting exciting. So, yep, we'll be back in just a quick little break, and we'll see you guys soon.
After a word from our sponsors.
Be right back. No sponsors.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the ABCs of RPGs. Please give us a brief moment while we get the cameras straight in order because Ashley is joining us back in. Hello, Ashley.
We're good.
Yeah, we're back.
It's back. It's fixed.
Can you introduce yourself, Ashley? I gave a terrible introduction to you earlier.
Hi, my name's Ashley. My pronouns are she, her. I'm playing a character named Irene, whose pronouns are also she, her. Irene is basically a trust fund baby. She's a dilettante. She dances a lot and lives off of her family's income. And she should probably get a real job, but she doesn't. And last session, she went a bit insane. So that was very interesting for her. And she was sleeping that off this morning, and now she's finally back with it and slept off all of that bad vibes, bad juju or whatever, and back with it and excited to play.
I like to think the party left you a note. Was like, hey, we're going to the funeral home. Like, catch us there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this
Oh,
is
yeah.
you catching up.
Tell you later.
Did Pedialyte exist at this point?
No, you drank like a raw egg, some Worcestershire sauce, pickle juice, and you just
Oh my
got
God.
over
I
it.
think it was
Isn't
just
that
hair of
what
the
Bloody
dog.
Marys are for?
I
Hair of the
will
dog.
Deal with
I'm pretty sure it was just hair of the dog. Yeah.
So
Have aspirin.
There is aspirin. I
there's
think.
Coke.
Yeah.
There you go, Ashley. You'll feel better. Just do an 8-ball.
Yep.
You'll feel better than Jiffy.
Coca-Cola.
Okay. So, Ashley, just to let you know, we also did a question today, and the question was, if you came back in your next life as an animal, what animal would you be?
Ooh.
Everybody, does everybody want to recap what their animal was real quick, and what
I'm a cat. I'd be a cat.
Kitty.
Christian would also be a cat.
or a mule?
True.
Dalton would be a weasel, or Marvin would be a weasel,
Marvin would
Meerkat.
definitely be a weasel.
and Leo would be a lion. So it's like 3 cats and a meerkat.
That's so funny. I was also thinking of cat, but I feel like I can't say that.
Yeah, and it's a party full of
well-
cats.
Well, I mean, the story is that as kittens and younglings, they were all raised together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
is how the story would go. So
I
you can
love
be-
it.
You can be whatever you want. It'll be fine, but there is a cat theme.
There is a cat theme. And like the reason I'm thinking cats is like cats are kind of lazy. They sleep all day long and then they have their fun hunting or whatever. And that's what Irene does. She's kind of
Yeah.
lazy.
I like that.
And she's like graceful, like a cat. Most cats are fairly graceful, dexterous.
Yeah.
The stereotypical cat is. Maybe not all cats, but I guess I'm gonna go cat too.
No.
And can anybody give a quick recap of what's happened so far today?
I got it.
Perfect.
Okay, so we just got done with our night. We read in the papers that the gruesome and Eldrick event that happened last night with the execution and spontaneous reanimation of our contact's body was covered up by the papers. We learned a little bit about some Eldrick happenings in the paper. We found out that the funeral for this man was going to be held this morning. We have since gone to the funeral home. We have been walking in the procession, and just now we have noticed that the musician, who we believe has some sort of necromantic musical powers, has just joined the procession and started to play his 4-valved trumpet. And we are worried that he will reanimate the corpse out of the coffin. And at the same time, we have seen the shooter who executed this man present once again at this procession. And Leo and Dan are going to stop the shooter, and Marvin and Butcher are making their way trying to see what they can do about stopping the trumpet player.
Mhm.
I think that brings it. Oh, and then we see Irene with possibly like a glass of champagne in her hand, hair of the dog in it,
Yep.
back into
Bloody
the
Mary.
funeral, Bloody Mary into the funeral procession.
Yep.
Yeah, so
She's got like black
sure.
sunglasses on. She's wearing all black, but
Mm-hmm. It's very stylish.
Definitely not
But I
feeling
think that
last night.
I think that brings us back up to speed, right? I miss anything, y'all?
No, I think that
All right.
you nailed it.
Quick recap.
All right, perfect. So, yeah, entering onto the scene, Leroy has just joined the front of the funeral procession and has started playing along with them. So, Ashley, Irene runs up, coming in from behind. So basically, you can think about it like this. In front, the funeral procession is making a right turn to go north on the next street, and the band is just at the tip of the turning point. So leading the procession is 2 policemen on motorcycles, followed by the coffin with the 6 pallbearers, followed by the band, followed by the wife of the deceased, and
Are
then
they like walking with the coffin, or is the
Yeah.
coffin in a hearse?
It's like a New Orleans style funeral.
Okay.
Yep.
In Harlem.
yes.
It's like
So-
a meme. They're dancing with it. It's like-
Dun,
That's my
dun,
culture.
Dun, 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 so yes, they're walking with the funeral procession, and Leroy, you may recognize the band and Leroy as a part of that are playing in the front. You got a note from the party saying you're gonna get to the procession. You ran to the funeral home. It had already started, so now you're running up behind, and you just got to maybe like the back of the crowd, which is quite a bit ways from the front. But you do probably see your party members kind of like off to the left side of the crowd, kind of like huddled together and discussing stuff. They seem to maybe have start to like kind of branch out, but you do see them kind of grouped up over there. So it's your turn. What do you have to do?
Could we have at least like gestured to Irene at the horn player or something? Like,
Well, she's just kind of running into the scene and just kind
Okay.
of sees you guys grouped up.
all right.
I'm sorry, is it my turn or Leo's turn?
It's your turn. You have a
Oh.
dex of 80, right?
Yes.
Yep, you're first up.
Okay. I thought I was coming in the middle of turns. So, who can I see from where I'm at? Like from my party? Can I see anyone, or should I make like a spot hidden? Or
Yeah, all of them are grouped up on the sidewalk. So you can think about the funeral processions like in the road, like walking through, right? So the sidewalks are, just the normal everyday goers kind of walking up and down. They're all grouped up to your left side, on the left side of the crowd, together, kind of like
I
talking.
walk up to them.
Okay. The crowd's kind of big, so
Mhm.
you're able to kind of like, if you kind of like hurry and run to them, you can catch up to them and kind of like talk to them if you want to do that.
I would like to do that.
Cool. All right. You run to the to the group, and what do you say?
Hey, I am so sorry about last night. I'm not really sure what came over me. I mean, blood and guts came over me, but but yeah, I'm here. I'm awake. You guys tell me what I can do to help.
Okay, now it's Leo's turn.
Leo.
Alrighty. Is she with Leo now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Irene
I'm
has
with
come
all
up
of
to
you
the
guys
group.
now.
Yes, and has joined.
Irene, you may want to stick close. Stay a little back. We're gonna go try and we saw the shooter a little bit back that way. He's here again. They might be trying to sandwich us. They might know we're on their tail. So
I take a sip of my Bloody Mary and nod affirmatively.
okay.
You're just openly carrying.
Leo starts to. Oh yeah, you're just openly carrying a Bloody Mary in Prohibition era New York.
Maybe
It's
I'm
tomato
not.
juice.
It's tomato
Just
juice. Yeah,
tomato
it's
juice.
tomato juice. Just a little bit of vodka.
Uh-huh.
The doctor prescribed it.
Actually, you could get a prescription for vodka for alcohol in the 20s. So she may have that.
I probably do.
She
I
is
can pay
rich.
for
She
one.
could probably pay off
she's
someone.
she's got the medical
Yeah.
alcohol card.
Yes, that's what it is.
You have the drink card? I do have the drink card.
So I and then I start to kind of drop back toward where Dan identified is there a way I could like go back around an alley, like cut around a block and try and that's too dangerous. Yeah,
Like
I'm just gonna
sneak
try
up?
and,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna try and do that.
Okay. It's gonna take some time, so I'm gonna say like to kind of like cut around the block and stuff like that. Especially if you're trying to like, are you trying to like sneakily do this to kind of sneak up on him
Well,
and
it's
stuff?
pretty loud, so I don't really have to. I feel like, and he's probably not looking directly at me because he's still. We noticed that did Dan say that he went in the crowd?
No, so he wasn't in the crowd. He was like 40 feet behind the crowd, and he was peeking out behind a corner and then ducked back. So
All right, yeah. So he doesn't know I'm ducking in the alley, and it's pretty loud. So I'm not going to be sneaky until I like start to. I'm going to cut down the alley, and then as I cut down the next street, also I'm not going to be all that stealthy. But then when I turn down the next alley to try and like get behind him, then I'm going to start to be stealthy.
okay, cool. So next turn, I'll have you make kind of like a stealth roll to kind of like sneak up on him. Does that sound good?
Cool. That
Cool.
sounds great.
All right, so you start kind of making your way around a block to try to like sneak up and surprise him. Surprise Joey. So Marvin.
I make a run for Leroy.
Okay. I'll say yeah, you can probably reach him. So like you run up to him in the band while he's playing.
Mhm.
What do you do?
He joined the band?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
started playing.
in the band.
Yeah.
He's just like on the corner smoking a cigarette. He like flicked it off and then just doodle it, doodle, doodle, doodle.
So I'm trying to is he standing with the band, or is he just playing along with the band?
Yeah, he's standing next to Charlie Johnson.
Okay,
Actively playing.
so
Right?
the band just happened to walk by the same corner he was standing on.
Yeah, he was like up ahead, and then
Yeah.
they were making the turn, and he joined the band from there. Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. I thought he was just like off to the side playing like along. Is he playing a song that sounds like Dead Man Stomp, or is this just a
No,
normal song?
This
Okay.
is specifically Closer Walk with Thee.
Okay.
Mhm.
I want to be like, I want to walk up and get closer to where the band is playing.
Mhm.
And I want to I'm trying to think of a way to, if they were to start playing Dead Man Stomp, interrupt or cause it to halt, but that would be very disrespectful. um Probably no way to like trip him. Is he like walking backwards?
No, he kind of like walked
I
alongside and
can't set
joined.
up some sort of snare trap.
I mean, you can run in front of him and stick your foot out.
No, that'd be also very rude. I'm trying to be respectful to the funeral without letting someone be raised from the dead.
Reanimated.
Yeah. And there's just no way to do this. What's the thing in Call of Cthulhu where like you want to get an idea but you're not sure what to do?
Yeah, it's
Is
just your
that like an
intelligence.
idea roll?
It's an idea roll.
It's an
Yeah.
idea roll? Okay.
Yeah.
I roll what's 1/5 of 50?
Oh,
10.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's a hard success.
So hard success. Thank you,
All
Ashley.
right.
My brain paused for a second. My brain
No
went to like
problem.
the spinning
I-
Mac wheel when it was
Yeah.
trying to do very complicated math, dividing 50 by 5.
So you're trying to come up with an idea to stop the whole band from playing?
I don't want the horn player to play
Yeah.
Dead Man Stomp. I want, if that
Okay.
song starts playing, I want an idea to
Knock
them-
it out of his hand.
to stop or like prevent that song from being played.
Okay.
That is not just going to get me like shouted down and like ruin the entire funeral.
Okay. What you could do is you could like run up and kind of like get on the sidewalk, like jog or like walk
Mhm.
along the sidewalk as it's going, and then if you start to like hear it like the beat change or like the tempo as they're about to go into it, maybe like you think, oh, maybe I can just run up and tap Leroy and like try to tell him something that like to distract him from playing or something like that. So
Okay. I just wanted to be clear that was your idea. And if it goes horribly, we can all blame Spencer.
Okay. So you're listening to see if they play Dead Man Stomp,
Mhm.
and you want to approach. You want to try to.
I want to interrupt Leroy
yeah,
if he
interrupt.
attempts to play that song.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
In the least
Um,
disruptive way possible, I want to disrupt them.
Yeah. You. We'll say okay. I'll also say from your idea check that Dead Man Stomp was more of a upbeat hip song. Probably wouldn't fit with the current tune, but you're still looking out for it.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so that's Marvin's turn. He's kind of like up there, kind of waiting to see to stop them from playing Damon Stop. Butcher, you were with the crowd. Irene joined you guys, and then you saw Leo kind of dive back to start kind of try to sneak around, and then
Yeah, so I kind of follow in Marvin's path there and go towards sorry, what's his name? Leroy.
Mhm.
And now Butcher has plans to be ready to tackle this fool if he gets any crazy ideas and starts playing that song.
Leroy? Okay, okay.
Yeah. So right now we're good. However, this song has been going on for a little bit, right?
Yeah. It's been playing for, I don't know, maybe about 20 seconds so far. I mean, like, this is all kind of like happening right now. So
Do I notice anything weird going on with the casket?
how close are you to it? How close are you getting? Are you getting to like the front of the crowd, like where the wife is standing, or?
So the marching order is the band first?
Yeah,
Or?
so it's motorcycles, pallbearers, band, wife, crowd. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'm basically about right with the band, right behind the
Okay.
band. So the pallbearers.
Cut in front of the wife. Start kind of like move. Are you like in the road, or are you like on the sidewalk, like with like what Marvin's doing?
No, I'll be on the side. I'll flank.
Okay.
Marv. Yeah.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Okay. You're ready to tackle Leroy if he starts playing the song.
Correct.
Dead Man Stomp. Okay, cool. So you're also listening out for it, which is good. Cool.
Yeah, I specifically though wanted to see if I noticed anything weird with the
Coffin.
the coffin. Yeah.
Give me a listen roll.
The casket.
Yeah.
Going on a listen roll, huh?
Yeah. The band's playing. But you're like right in line, like right behind the band. So we'll kind of see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you'll need a hard success to kind of get this one.
Okay, I don't think that's a hard success. No, that's a fail.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. No.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't notice anything weird.
I think
Alright.
in the context of Call of Cthulhu, instead of like requiring a hard success, you would give penalty dice.
You can do both.
You can do both. It just feels weird that like you could succeed on the roll and still fail.
Succeed on the roll.
Like he could
Well-
roll a success. Like within the
Yeah.
rules of the game, he would roll a success but still failed.
Yeah, I would think of it as kind of like making a more difficulty check, right? Like when you roll a d20 with like different tasks. I'm not sure. Like there's like it was a 10 is easy, a 15 is like harder.
Mhm.
Rolling a 20 or above is difficult. Like a 30 is legendary, like impossible. I like to think that like the rolls is kind of like that, like penalty dice and like and bonus dice is kind of like different factors in the environment that may like help or hinder as well. But I've also seen it done where you can also just require some rolls to be harder
Okay.
if they're just difficult in and of itself. So I could have given Christian a penalty dice because the band's playing right there, but I guess I just decided it would be a hard check instead. So
Yeah. I mean, like how you described it, the band playing
Spencer,
would be an environmental factor making the task more difficult, which sounds like how you described penalty dice should be used.
right.
Mhm.
I guess I can't say all the factors why it is what it is, but
Yeah.
maybe I'll reveal more later. So I'll explain that more later at the end of the session.
All right.
Cool.
Interesting conversation though, and it's good thought. You know, good points to bring up.
Yeah. So, let's see here. All right, Dan, what are you doing?
So remind me what Leo did again, because I'm with Leo, right?
Yeah, Leo.
Leo
So you guys were all
kind of like dashed down the alleyway up to the next street so he could kind of round up about he didn't really leave any other instructions. He just kind of went off. Justin's thinking about what he did. Yeah. So not sure what you're doing then. 'Cause Leo didn't confer with you like an idiot.
Well, I guess I could probably. I don't know. I'm kind of. I've been trying to think of what I wanted to do this turn, and I'm like, what do I want to do? I guess I'm just gonna do I notice Leo walking off?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, you definitely would have.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna follow after Leo. And just kind of keep my eye on do I still see what's his name? The mobster Joey. Do I still see Joey?
No, he definitely ducked behind a corner.
Okay. Yeah,
You
I'm gonna
can try to
follow.
make a spot hidden roll to try to see him. See if you can still spot him.
Nah, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna follow and go duck behind, try to follow him behind the corner.
Okay. So you're following Leo, right?
Yeah, I'll follow Leo.
Okay, cool. So you're keeping in line with Leo, kind of following him around because you're gonna try to come up behind and sneak up on Joey. So cool. All right. And that's the end of the turn. So, all of a sudden, while the song is being played, the pallbearers lurch as the weight in the coffin shifts. Startled, they look at each other in confusion and alarm. The crowd gasps, and the band cuts out, and the music dies. Then, suddenly, the coffin lid smashes open. As the pallbearers drop their burden and pull back, the late Frederick Fayette emerges, gray, puffy, and bewildered. It's a horrific sight, and it triggers screams, shrieks, and general cries of astonishment from onlookers. So I would say Dan and Leo are not there and cannot see. But Marvin and Butcher, you're on the scene, and you probably witnessed the event happening. So give me a Sandy check.
Well, it wasn't the specific song that mattered.
I forget. Can you pay luck to do
Not for
Mm-mm.
Sandy
not for
rolls.
sanity? Okay,
Cannot spend luck on luck rolls, damage rolls, or Sandy rolls.
cool. I failed by 2.
So, if you guys fail, it's 1d6. If you pass, it's only -1 sanity point.
Ooh, 6.
Oh, 6. Oh, no.
Oh no!
You know what
That's a
happens?
bit
Yeah.
free
Oh,
insanity.
you're not permanently insane, right? You just
No,
get
you're temporary.
Temporary.
All right. Well, hold on.
It's still
We're
not
not
great.
there yet. If the investigator loses 5 or more sanity points as a consequence of a single sanity roll, they've suffered a major emotional trauma. The player must roll 1d100. If the result is equal to or less than their intelligence, the investigator fully understands and comprehends what has been seen, and goes temporary insane. If they fail to roll, their mind is closed to the horror and they remain sane for now.
Do you have a question?
What?
So, Marvin, did
Mhm.
you witness the? I assume they're the same monster. Is that correct? They're both
Oh, the
zombies.
zombie. Yeah, did you lose any
Did you
sanity
lose
points
sanity
from...
the previous zombie?
I succeeded that check, but I still think I lost a couple as default for that one originally a while back.
Okay. Because that is relevant, and because you
You do
aren't
build
as
up
affected, right? Yeah,
as
Immunity.
much, but
Yeah.
I don't think I don't remember by how much.
yeah.
It
I don't
is the max sanity you can normally lose. So the max sanity for this would be 1d6 for a zombie. So you wouldn't be able to lose. Let's see here. Oh. Oh.
No, yeah.
It's 8 points. So you can only lose 8 points from witnessing a zombie. 8 points of sanity you can maximize lose from a zombie. So
Okay. It has nothing to do with my sanity roll that I've already seen one, right?
yeah.
Okay. I thought that there was things where if you've already seen a thing, you become less likely to go insane from seeing it a second time, or a third time, or a fourth time.
So yes. I mean, yes. So how many sanity points did you lose from the last time when you saw Pete come back to life?
Honestly, I don't remember. Do you have that check in the book? Because I
Yes.
know I succeeded the check, and I lost, I think, like 1 or 2, or maybe it was
It was, if you passed that, you only lost 1 sanity point.
so I lost 1 sanity point.
Yeah. Cool. So that means I would write on the back of your sheet that for zombies, you have 1 out of 8 points of sanity lost from witnessing them.
Okay, yeah. So now I can only lose 7 more.
7, which you just lost
Lost
6.
six.
So
Lost six,
now
cool.
move that up to 7 out of 8. And witnessing any more zombies, you can only lose 1 sanity point from it. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought there was something about like the initial sanity roll once you've already seen a thing, but it sounds like once I've lost the full 8, I can know, like, it doesn't. I don't even need to make sanity rolls. Like, it's not a surprising thing anymore.
Yeah, let me read this. Seeing a zombie usually provokes a sanity roll with a nominal cost of 0 over 1d8 sanity points. Now, this situation a little bit different, so consider the actual condition of the corpse when deducting sanity. Some may be more fresh and so less horrific, reducing the loss to 1 over 1d4 points at the keeper's discretion. The amount that I told you was written in the book, so that's why I was doing that one. But note the maximum total number of sanity points that can be lost for encountering lots of zombies in a short period is 8 points. So, as once they've lost 8 points, the maximum sanity loss for seeing a zombie, the keeper doesn't need to ask the investigators to make any further sanity rolls from seeing yet more zombies. So it's once you hit the max, then you're
Okay.
good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good to know.
Unfortunately, though.
Yeah, but I did fail my intelligence roll.
So you go temporarily insane. Roll 1d10
I thought it
to
was
see
good
how...
if he failed his intelligence
Oh
roll.
no, I'm sorry, I passed.
Oh.
He passed,
It's
so
good,
he
but yeah.
realized what he witnessed, so he is going
Bad
temporary
thing
insane.
happened.
Yeah, bad thing happened. So
the
roll
insanity.
roll 1d10 for how many hours you are temporary insane.
8 hours.
8 hours. So what this means is, while temporary insane, I may present you with delusions or hallucinations, and you will have to make a sanity roll for a reality check to see if you see through the hallucination or if you don't. For all other roleplay purposes, you make factual decisions as you would normally during this time. However, I just may make you see hallucinations depending on the circumstance.
Yep.
So that's what it means to be temporary insane. But there's a few other things that happen right now. So the first thing is we have to roll a bout of madness. This is incurred when you go temporary insane. So roll me 1d10, and I'll tell you what bout of madness from my table you are gonna get.
7.
You get flee and panic, just like what Irene got. So roll 1d10, and you have to flee for that many rounds.
Cool.
On top of that,
You said 1d10?
yes.
9 rounds.
Fuck.
Oh, so you're
On
going for
top
this
of that,
encounter, huh, bud?
Yeah, so I think I can be written off on this one.
yep. I'm also, so you also get to phobia or mania, and just to mix things up, I'm gonna say you're gonna get a mania. Can you roll me another d10, and I'm gonna assign you a mania too. You now have the mania as you're obsessed with pain. Algomania.
How do you spell that? A-L?
Algomania.
Nice.
Sounds like
Algomania.
the Facebook algorithm.
I want the aliens to hurt me.
You said obsessed with pain.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want to get probed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You want it to be an unpleasant.
You don't want to be sedated at all.
Yeah, I don't want them to put me down for it. Want to get all probed up.
Okay.
Jesus.
So, Christian, did Butcher, you succeeded and you just lost 1 sanity. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Make sure everybody has written down how many sanity points they've lost from zombies, with the maximum being 8, because that may come into play later. Especially Irene, since you already lost your amount as well. So
I thought that my amount of sanity was lost from being splattered by a dead body.
oh, you're right. Never mind. It was.
Do I gain immunity to seeing dead bodies?
Let's just say headshots.
You just unfazed by seeing a headshot.
Yeah.
Body
Yeah.
shots, though, a little different.
Body shots,
Mhm.
that one's different. I'm still scared of blood.
Yeah. Brains, she's used to. Intestine, she still has some work to get past.
Right.
Very important distinction.
So that's what's happening at the front of the funeral procession. The music has stopped, the coffin has been dropped, and Mr. Fayette has emerged out of his coffin. He's broken out. Irene, you don't suffer any of the penalty because you're a bit further back in the crowd, so maybe you hear some gasps and shrieks and stuff like that. But what are you doing?
I would like to rush forward, and I'd also kind of like to do a spot hidden, see if I see anything worth noting.
Yeah.
The
So just
zombie.
like, yeah, we're gonna do this in 2 parts, because you forward and you see an undead man rise up and is like moving about. So you are also gonna make a sanity throw or a sanity roll for witnessing a zombie.
I
Yeah.
fail.
You okay? This is 1 over 1d6. So one loss if you pass, if you pass. So 1d6 since you failed. So
2.
okay, only 2. Write that down for your zombie loss. And then after that, make a spot hidden roll. And you're just looking for anything of note in this kind of chaotic scene.
Yeah.
All
I don't
right.
really know what in particular to look for.
Okay. Here's what I'll say. I did look up a Reddit post while we were talking about like when to use penalty dice versus making the hard/extreme rolls,
Mhm.
and this is posted to Call of Cthulhu. One of the top answers says bonus and penalty die apply based on the circumstance, which we discussed before. Increasing difficulty applies based on what the task itself is. So if the investigators are helping each other, doing something particularly clever, a bonus die would be appropriate. If you're doing something particularly stupid, or if there's some outside force interfering with their actions or making a success more challenging, a penalty die would be more appropriate. So if we go back to like a warehouse scene, somebody tried to hide in a warehouse where there's lots of objects, they get a bonus die, whereas a spot hidden roll to find them would be get a penalty die. And then if rather the investigators begin searching for documents and then decide to narrow in one specific and rare bit of info that might change a library roll from normal to hard. If they annoy a professor they are talking to, or if they steer the conversation in a direction that the otherwise chatty shopkeeper considers private or sensitive, a charm roll might go from hard to extreme. So I like to think of it like this. The reason why I made it a hard roll for Christian was not necessarily the band was playing, but he was further away from the casket and it was inside of a casket. I'm not saying they're noise proof, but I feel like it'd be difficult to hear like movement inside of a casket if it's just kind of like somebody jostling awake, right? So that's why I made that a hard check. And for what Ashley's trying to do, the scene is chaotic. There's a lot of people moving about and freaking out right now because there's a living dead man around. So I was going to say because of the circumstance, she was going to get a penalty die to try to see if she can find anything of note.
It doesn't matter. I failed it.
Okay. All right. Cool. So that's what's going on right now. You still have a little bit. you cut up to the front. Are you just gonna kind of stand there for right now? Did you want to move
Can
anywhere?
I shoot the zombie?
I guess Irene was not aware of the fact that shooting the zombie is an ineffectual thing to do. She
Yeah.
was insane for that part.
Yeah. I'm gonna say you use most of your time to kind of like do the spot hidden roll
That is fine.
because it's a chaotic scene unfolding in front of you right now.
Do I
So
see Martin run away?
it's not Martin's turn yet. You maybe see a look of horror on Martin's face.
Oh, but he hasn't tried to run away yet. Okay,
Correct.
I follow.
So
I think that's all I'm doing then.
okay, cool.
I don't really know what else I could do, so.
We'll come back to you. Leo, so you successfully make it around the corner with Dan, and you kind of like start. So this would be your stealth roll to kind of start to try to sneak up on Joey Larson. And Dan is with you too. So why don't we do this together, with you two? But I will say, as you're rounding this corner, you do hear the music stop and kind of like gasping and murmurs coming from the crowd that you left behind. So. Did you still want to try to do the stealth roll and sneak up, Justin?
So it's all crashing and everything. So it might just be easier to run up behind him.
Well,
Yeah.
you're like around the block. You can kind of like do a stealth check to kind of like sneak up on him, but then you might do a spot hidden because you didn't see him before. You just know that Dan pointed out his direction being this way.
Oh yeah. I'll do a spot hidden to make sure he's still there. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's go.
So like you
Spot
get
hidden.
to like
Ooh.
you get to the end of the street. You kind of peek out and you're looking for him. What'd you get?
I got a 17, and I'm just double checking. That is a hard success.
All right. You do spot him, but he's in a different position from before. He's like further up, like closer to the crowd, and he seems to have a look of like shock on his face.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna try and sneak up behind him, especially because he's, bewildered and distracted.
Yep.
Oh, did I do it? Was I stealthy enough? Let me check my character sheet. Oh, I was stealthy enough by like just a little bit.
All right.
Hey, yay me!
So you're sneaking up on him, but because he moved locations, you're not able to get right up behind him, but you're close to him. You're close.
How far? How far am I?
Let's see here. If he moved in closer to the funeral and you're coming around the corner, 20 feet?
All right. Let's see. Is it so loud now? Because now there's commotion and stuff like that. Is there uh is there now do you think he'd be able to hear me?
You succeed on your stealth check, so
No, like if I intentionally, because now I'm only 20 feet away.
Yeah.
That's like being across a room from someone.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm gonna still stay hidden this turn.
Okay. All right, cool. Marvin, you have just witnessed this horrific scene and are filled with temporary insanity.
Mm-hmm. I run up the street, convinced that I've spotted a grayish, short, big-headed figure in the distance. That is dialing in some sort of like on electronic device, and I'm convinced that I see him, and I dash after him up the street
Oh, perfect.
because
So-
he's definitely controlling this.
Yeah.
Clearly.
There's no other
This-
possible solution or reasoning.
Perfect. Okay. So Marvin takes off. Oh,
And I say
Butcher,
that, I
it-
shout like it's him, he's doing this. Like, and I point to nothing up the street.
Well done.
Perfect. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, and Marvin takes off. Butcher, it's your turn.
Yeah, the band's still playing, right?
No, they've stopped.
Oh, they stopped.
Yeah, when the casket burst open, the music stopped, and the crowd is now like starting to panic.
Now they stop playing. The second time. the
Yeah,
zombie
now they
shows up.
yeah. That's why I was making sure. Okay. Interesting. So the last zombie didn't even it didn't even go for or try to attack us or anything. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna stand by, just out of the way, and make sure that the zombie doesn't attack anybody. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to necessarily attack it, especially since it's the previously deceased member of the of the the family that is all running around now.
Yeah,
So I guess I'm just gonna ready for action. Just,
perfect. So yeah, so you kind of get ready. You're like maybe you don't have a gun or anything on you, do you? So you're just kind of
No,
like
a knife.
preparing to kind of
Yeah. I just kind of have my hand on it. I'm ready to take it out and swing if I need to.
yeah.
Um,
Perfect. All right, Dan. So you're following closely behind Leo. You see, like, you maybe both of you kind of turn this corner. And you see Leo just kind of like duck down and kind of is like crouching. He kind of peeks out behind the corner, and then he like dashes out. Like he's like sneaking up on presumably Joey. So are you also going to try to sneak with him, or how are you doing this?
I mean, my stealth is horrible, so I think I'm gonna try to like distract Joey and like help Justin or help Leo sneak up on him.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go like the opposite way of where Leo's going, I guess, or is it like an alley?
Well, it was kind of like, think about it like a block, right? So you both went like out around a block and we're trying to circle back to sneak up on him. So currently you're on the same street, kind of like going the same way and like curving around the corner to see like Joey in the funeral procession. Does that make sense?
Got you.
Yeah.
So I think then I'm
Like-
gonna like go around and like arc around, and kind of just get Joey's attention, so that Justin could reasonably, like distract him so that Justin could or Leo could reasonably sneak up behind him. And I'm just
Okay.
gonna go, hey, you're shit, what's his name? Joey. Hey, you're Joey, right?
Okay. Why don't you give me a fast talk roll?
That is I believe, a pass. That is a pass.
Perfect. So you say that Joey, who is staring ahead at the top of the funeral procession with the zombified Mr. Fayette, kind of like jolts and like looks around at you, and he sees you and he hears you, and he gets skittish and he runs off because you would have needed a hard success to convince him to stay. And by alerting him, he got scared and he's taking off now.
Can I give chase?
Yes. or you can push the roll if you want to do that too.
What happens if I push it?
So if you push it, succeeding obviously distracts him long enough to like strike up a conversation with you. Failing, would say you try to fast talk, and as you're talking, you get distracted by a can in front of you, and you would fall over and give him ample time to running ahead of you.
Okay, so for a hard 6, I have to hit 34.
You could also just spend 12 luck, couldn't you?
I could spend 12 luck. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
To make it a hard success? Okay,
Okay.
you do so. So Joey turns around, and he goes, "Hey, how do you know my name?" And he kind of like starts walking up to you, and he kind of puts a hand on his hip.
Well, listen, I'm a kind of guy that knows things around here. I know people, I know things. There's some stuff going on. I just wanted to talk to you about it.
Now, get the fuck out of here.
No, you get the fuck
I
out of
don't
here.
know places and things.
Things and stuff. It's in my head. I know.
Okay.
Sorry, Dad.
All right. Let's go back to Irene. Oh wait, no. Sorry, we got to go back to the funeral procession. Sorry. We're back at the end of the round. Let's go back to the funeral procession. So, okay. Mr. Fayette is like breaks out of his coffin. He's bewildered. He's been dead for days, so his skin is puffy, gray. It doesn't look like a normal human being anymore. Clearly, yeah. The only people who would probably recognize him is probably the closest people to him. You see him as he's kind of like struggling. He seems bewildered. He gets blinded by sunlight a little bit, and he puts his hand up a little bit. A few of the crowd goers who are near the front actually try to approach him to kind of like put hands up and like calm him down, and he shucks them away, and he freaks out like he in spazzes and tries to get him away. Just then, Mrs. Fayette, who was the young woman standing next to the coffin earlier during the procession, walks up to him and goes, Freddie, is that you?" And she puts both of her hands upon his face. When she does that, he stops and looks at her in shock and starts to kind of realize the situation that he's in. He sinks down to his knees. He throws his head back and he pours out a terrible scream. And he stops moving.
Ah!
Yes. Actually, it's Irene's turn.
How far away am I from Freddie and Mrs. Freddie?
You're up near the front of the crowd, so I would say like maybe only like 15 feet away.
And did I see Marvin run away?
Yeah, you definitely. You heard him yell about the Martian or whatever it was.
How far away is Marvin?
One turn distance running speed.
I'd like to go up to Freddie and Mrs. Freddie, and I want to see how Mrs. Freddie is doing, and if Mr. Freddie is if he's still zombified, or if he's like, do we need to like put him back in the coffin?
Yeah. Approaching.
You're not where you're supposed to be.
approaching this the couple, Mrs. Fayette just like she's now sunk down to her knees and has started crying in front of her husband. The husband has stopped moving. He's no longer moving.
Flop, 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 flop.
I would like to check for a pulse.
Give me a
and,
medicine
like,
check.
pick up his hand and see if it does anything. I don't
Yeah,
know.
medicine
Like,
check. Or first aid. You know what? First aid. You can know how to do a pulse check in first aid.
I would say so.
I would think
Yeah.
you wouldn't even need to do a check to check for a pulse. That's just something you can feel.
how commonly known was pulses and stuff
Can I
like
push this?
Spence, how commonly known was having a heart, and when a heart stops beating, they're dead, was in 1920? We had that down, at least.
that? Okay, fine. You don't need to check for
Feel
this.
like-
You can do it.
I can do it? Does he have
Yeah,
a pulse?
you do it. He does not have a pulse.
Can I pick up his hand? Does he like and drop it and see what he does?
How long does it take for rigor mortis to set in? Yeah, you can do so. It drops.
Well, no, I just want to see like if he's like gonna do anything.
He does not move.
I put my hand on Mrs. Freddy's shoulder and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I think he's gone again. Does she say anything?
She just bursts out into tears and starts weeping. And with that, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Can I give her like a handkerchief?
Yeah, 100%. You pull out a little thing and she takes it from you and starts dotting her eyes. Like
I'd imagine that's probably my full turn.
yes. Leo. You are what did I say, 20 feet away from well, no, you're 15 feet away. He starts walking towards Dan. Like I would imagine the scene's kind of like you're like hiding behind like a step or something like that. Dan's walked down to the middle of the street behind Joey. He said, "Hey, are you Joey?" He gets spooked and starts walking towards Dan and like puts his hand on his hip, right? And goes like, "Hey, how do you know me? Get the fuck out of here," right? And so he's probably about 15 feet away from you. What do you do?
Can I close that 15-foot gap?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna take out my pistol and I'm gonna cock it. And I'm sure he hears it and he feels it for sure in his back. He don't know you, Joey. I know you.
Shit.
What are you? Yeah, shit. Shit's right, Joey. What are you doing walking into my businesses? Shooting people in the back of the head, getting them closed down. You better start talking or I'm going to put daylight through you.
All right. Hold on.
Also, give me that. I reach over to his hand, his where his hand is over by his pocket, and I take his gun because I know that's what he's got there.
Yeah. It's a long-barreled 45 that he has.
Give me that.
So yeah. He you take it. You grab it from him, and he's like, all right. Jesus. Don't need to make things messy. Come on.
That sends you to me, Jesus, if you don't start yapping.
Jesus. Okay. All right. Do we have to do this here in front of the crowd? Let's get out of here. Or let's step off to the side. Can we do that?
Nah, Joey, you better start talking right now. Ain't nobody paying attention to us. You just be easy, like.
Do you know me? Who the fuck are you?
Oh, you know Leo Quinn.
Leo.
Yeah, Leo.
Shit,
You
look.
came into one of my businesses, shot up the place, and now I got problems. So we got problems. So start talking.
Jesus, Leo, can you see there's a bigger picture here? There's a man raised up from the dead. Two men raised up from the dead. One of them shot by me himself.
So why you shooting people?
The boss's information. Okay. We're gonna take a quick pause right there because that was a good bit of time. So let's Marvin, I think has to continue to run.
Yeah, I'm gonna chase that alien into fucking New Jersey if that's what it takes.
Okay, cool.
This is my chance for evidence.
Right across the Hudson.
Yeah. I'm crossing the goddamn river.
I want you to probe.
Butcher.
Boundaries
So-
Explored wouldn't be able to get content like this.
Yeah.
So Butcher, you witnessed the scene. You clearly see that people tried to approach the reanimated corpse. He shook him off, but then when he was confronted by his wife, he sunk down to his knees and let out a moan. Irene's gone over, checked his pulse. He seems to not be moving anymore. What do you do?
Do I see Do I see Leroy anywhere?
Funny enough, as you gaze around the crowd, it's a chaotic and hard scene, but you don't spot Leroy amongst the band members.
But I do see I do see the band members. Can I
You see Charlie?
run over
Yeah.
to Charlie and see if they saw where Leroy went?
He's like Charlie's like got his hand on his head. He's like he like doesn't hear you at first, and he goes, "I'm sorry, what? What?
You know where Leroy went.
Like Leroy?
How are you so surprised that this happened for a second time? And
I-
Leroy just happens to be a part of it right when it happens.
Are you saying Leroy brought my brother-in-law back?"
Well, he just showed up, and then this dude burst out of the coffin like the Kool-Aid Man. So yeah.
I
think
I
that
don't
might be an
I
acronym.
don't know. I was distracted by the scene. I'm sorry. I didn't see where Leroy went. I can tell you where his apartment is.
Yeah, that I have to do. Ugh.
So he starts scribbling down a little paper where Leroy's apartment is. But in the meantime, Dan, you have the scene in front of you here where Leo is behind. He's got the gun of Joey Larson and is holding him kind of like up. Do you have any? Do you come into the conversation to speak to?
Yeah. So I say to Leo, hey, you got this. I'm gonna go see what's going on out front. And is Leo able to respond or not really?
Yeah, Leo can say
Leo's
like,
definitely Leo wasn't thinking about what the heck a Kool-Aid Man is, and if a Kool-Aid Man exists right now.
Kool-Aid, I looked it up. The Kool-Aid Man, the mascot, didn't make his first prototype appearance until the 50s. But
Mhm.
Kool-Aid, the powder to drink flavoring, was invented in 1927.
oh, we're a
So-
few years away.
Yeah.
Okay, my
Interesting.
role playing wasn't totally on point.
I was just kind of curious about the historical accuracy of your statement.
Yeah,
It
Kool-Aid.
was still funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Leo is Leo's. Am I seeing everything else that's happening over here? Or are we seeing the kind of?
I like to think that you're facing away from the crowd because Joey was looking at the crowd and then turned around to look at Dan. So it's kind of hard to see what's happening with the crowd because everybody's kind of gathered around the point, right?
Standing behind him, kind of like keeping
Yeah.
it real under wraps.
Yeah. And so
Um,
Dan was just asking if you got it, and I think he was going to go check out what's going on in the front.
Yeah, I got this, Dan. We're gonna have a little chat.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start
I
walking up to front.
grab him. I'm gonna kind of veer. I am gonna veer him off back into the alley.
All right, and Dan, you can see that Leo's kind of taking him over there and stuff like that, so you know where that's happening. So back to the crowd. Murmurs start kind of like going through the crowd as there's whispers. You hear faint words saying "buried alive." He must have been buried alive. That's where's the mortician? It's his fault. He did it. And you see people starting to like turn to a what appears to be the mortician, who's like standing off to the side. He's kind of doing this thing where he's like looking around as the crowd kind of like starts to encircle him and look at him. And he has two assistants, so he's kind of like a little bit afraid right now. So, Irene, it's back to you.
I don't really care about the crowd. Like, part of me is like, it's not the mortician's fault, and I like want to say something, but I don't care enough to like actually say something. Are there any strong-looking fellows nearby? Where are the pallbearers?
There's pallbearers. There's two policemen too. Yeah.
I call over like a couple of the pallbearers and I'm like, all right, the gentleman is dead again. Let's get him back in this coffin. We don't need to have his poor wife crying on the side of the road. Let's get this funeral going. And
Okay.
I'd like to charm them if it's going to be an issue.
It's not going to be an issue. They agree with you, and they start picking up his body and placing him back into the coffin.
Is the mortician in sight?
Yeah.
Because he was like all nervous. I motioned for the mortician to come over and be like, pretty sure he's still dead, but can you double check me?
Yeah. He comes over and starts like, he checks the pulse and stuff like that too, and he turns around and he goes, yeah, that he's not alive anymore.
And I'll turn to the crowd and I'll be like, all right, folks, I think we've got a should I tell the truth? I'm going to tell the truth. We've got a zombie problem here. However, Mr. Fayette has since returned back to heaven. So let's proceed with a dignified funeral for him and his family's sake. And I'd like to do a charm roll for that.
Charm roll. Okay. Okay, yeah. Physical attraction, seduction, flattery, or warmth of personality. Yeah, go ahead. Make a charm roll. I'm gonna say to charm the crowd. They're all pretty heated, and they got a crowd mentality going on. I think just a normal success would be okay.
I have a normal success, but if you want a hard success, I can get there with luck.
No, it's fine. You're able to kind of like talk down the crowd, and they don't necessarily believe you, but whispers of voodoo start to kind of murmur through the crowd.
Murmur, 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 murmur,
Murmur,
murmur.
Murmur.
rabble, rabble.
I feel like that's my turn.
Rhubarb, peas and carrots, rhubarb.
Leo, you take Joey Larson over to this alleyway over here, and you have the gun pointed at him. So how are you proceeding? You were asking him about his boss or something like that?
Yeah. Why is the boss having you put these guys under? What's up? Obviously, there's something else going on. How does the boss know about it?
Look.
Where you come in.
Leo, look, the boss don't know nothing about this like dead men walking thing. It's a new scoop. You hear me? Only thing he had me do was take care of Pete. That was all. I was trying to follow up.
Yeah? Why do you have your whack Pete?
Leo, that's got to stay in between the boss's boys. That's personal business.
You messed with my business. You came into my club. You made him a stiff on my turf. You know he's not. You come all the way down from Harlem and start making trouble in Hell's Kitchen? Come on. What you doing?
Leo, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get your place closed down, You know
the rules. Start talking. I'm going to get impatient here.
Look, let's just say he crossed the boss. We were okay. He crossed the boss. We were just trying to take care of it, okay? We were trying to get him straight. I just made sure
the boss how? Wait, you owe you money?
Let's just say he works with our money. You know what I'm saying?
He can't work. He got a little ambitious, huh?
Yeah.
Started skimming, huh?
Mm-hmm. He had a gambling problem, Just like to spend a little bit of our earnings.
All right. Next time you have you got to do business in Hell's Kitchen. You talk to us first. I probably shouldn't even be letting you walk. I'm gonna, because I'm a nice guy.
Oh, Leo, I don't know what I can do to repay you.
I'll keep your toy so you don't do nothing stupid as I let you go.
No, not my 45. Leo!
Oh, she's coming with me.
No, that's my girl, Leo. That's my girl.
Hey, get out of here.
Do you kick him in the butt and does he run off?
Yeah, I can give him a get out of here.
He scrambles off. Rat
Don't let me
like.
see you in Hell's Kitchen
as he
no
runs
more
away.
without an invitation, all right?
Okay, yeah, he scampers off. That's kind of the end of like the conflict. So from here point out, everybody
End of
can
the
kind of like.
conflict. There's still an alien I need to chase down.
What the heck?
You're right. You're right. Marvin is still running away, but we can kind of break turn order from here. What is everybody kind of doing from here on out?
I'd like to walk Mrs. Fayette through the rest of the funeral.
Okay. So you do so. You're successfully able to kind of you convince the crowd to put the body back into the casket. The pallbearers lift it back up. The music, Charlie doesn't seem to want to play any music. It's kind of a quiet event from now on, but they start to kind of walk towards the funeral or towards the graveyard. So the cemetery.
I'm okay with that.
All right. What is
It
everybody
can
else?
be silent.
Yeah. Is anybody chasing after Marvin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know what
I'm
Mar- I
pretty
never know
pretty
what
far away.
Marvin's
I'm a little
doing.
gone. I think I'll come
Yeah.
to
You'll never
eventually and
knows.
find my way back.
Yeah.
Leo never knows.
I mean, I
It'll
was
be
gonna
alright.
follow him after the funeral thing, but
Yeah, I
hopefully he
think
stopped running away by then.
You can start tracking him down. Yeah.
there's so much
Alright.
going on that yeah.
But I don't know. I think we can probably call it here for
We
the
can.
day.
Yeah. So,
Can
yeah.
I propose that Marvin stubs his toe? I'd like to see how he reacts.
Oh, he's
For
gonna
what?
love
To stubbing his toe.
I mean,
Just in general?
I stub it and it hurts, but I'm so single-mindedly focused on catching this extraterrestrial bastard that I run through the pain.
I thought you had
Oh, it
aglamania.
fuels you. Does it turn you on? Is that something?
I mean, it's not
Okay,
like a
Kurt.
sexual thing. Like I'm fascinated by like the pain mechanism and like how
Yeah.
different pains feel and stuff. Like I've stubbed my toe. That's nothing new. I want like new and like exotic types of pain.
Oh well.
Oh.
I'm
Well-
sure there's an interesting Cthulhu mythos, and I can help you out there.
If anybody has any questions about Call of Cthulhu, go ahead and leave some comments in our chat right now. But yeah, you guys witness another reanimation of dead bodies and seem to have narrowed it down for who might be causing this kind of commotion and whatnot. So you ran into Joey Larson, got to chat with him a little bit. But yeah, Leroy disappeared into the crowd and you don't know where he went. So we're gonna have to find out. However, Butcher did get his address from Mr. Charlie Johnson. So
Yeah.
So-
Leroy Jenkins out of there.
Okay. All right. So Leo kind of walks casually over to the rest of the group.
What did we accomplish today? Kind of feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, today was
We
This was a
we have a
weird day.
lead
We
on.
ruled out Joey as a zombie person suspect, maybe.
yeah. I
Who's
mean,
lower on the
that's
list.
true.
Leroy's higher on the list. And we know that we need to follow Leroy now to
Yeah.
his home.
I just realized that I picked up a zombie.
yeah.
Ew.
Ew.
That doesn't sit right with me.
yeah. But yeah. Do you guys have any questions about just like how the flow and everything's going along, or any questions we kind of covered? I
No,
find
mean,
it. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. We found out that, you know, he ended up getting killed not because they knew anything, but well, we think anyway. It's probably reasonable though. That he was just a corrupt accountant who was skimming from the mob, and he got himself into trouble. Which, seems pretty reasonable to Leo.
Yeah.
Justin's a
But
little
why
50-50
are we
on it, but
having some of that
neither here
voodoo
nor
shit
there.
going on?
Yeah, and the other thing was, I should have asked him what he was doing here.
I don't know.
Damn it.
You already let him get away.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found it very interesting that on the Bouts of Madness table, we got the same bout of madness both times, which was the fleeing panic.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was funny. Now, I do want to say the add the phobia or mania to the investigator's backstory. That is something optional, so you don't have to do that every time. And in fact, manias and phobias are a part of the Bouts of Madness table. And, depending on the circumstance, I'd probably only give you one if you rolled that. Like, if you rolled that on the table, I'd say, oh, you just get that, and then you don't get, like, an extra phobia or whatnot. But since we've only had 2 people go temporary insane, I thought it was kind of fun to add that in. Mm-hmm. So, one of the other optional things when insanity happens is you take the investigator sheet and add a suitable backstory entry or change an existing one based on the nature of the investigator's bout of madness or cause of their insanity. Which, Dalton, you kind of already did that earlier because you were like, oh, I gave you the mania, and you're like, oh, yeah, I want to see what different types of new pain I can experience and everything. And I think that's really clever, especially with, like, the role play and whatnot. So.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley's the one who made me stub my toe.
I did.
But yeah, with that, that's kind of the end of our session here. So, we are not going to be playing next week, just to let you know. We're going to be coming back on December 4th. So that's 2 weeks from now. So not next week because it's Thanksgiving weekend, but the week after. We should be finishing up this adventure then. There's only a few things left in here, and I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. So,
if you say so. If you say there's only a little bit left.
Yeah.
But we are playing the Call of Cthulhu starter set, 7th edition, I believe. We are using Roll20 as our online platform. Excuse me, I'm choking on my own saliva. Our characters were created, our tokens were created in Hero Forge. I think that's kind of everything. So if you have any questions or concerns, please comment in our little chat, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. One of the things that I also wanted to mention is we've also been using a neat little cheat sheet in the background for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. There is a website called antagonistes.com, and I'll post that right here in our chat. But this site right here is pretty cool because it actually has not only Call of Cthulhu cheat sheets, but it has one for Shadowrun, Delta Green, Vampire the Masquerade, D&D itself, and Mutant Chronicles. I'm not as familiar with Antagonistes that well, but this is really well put together and kind of like gathers all the major things in a neat little pile. Like, for example, when we were talking about pushing rolls or spending luck, right on that first page, it has a section for spend luck and pushing rolls, which, back in the Keeper's Handbook, or it's just optional rules. So super good information to know, and definitely check them out if you want like a cool little cheat sheet for when you play your Call of Cthulhu games. So, but yeah, with that, anybody else have anything else to say?
We have to gain our luck and stuff back.
Oh, that's right. Oh, recover and the skill increases. How could I forget the most important part of Call of Cthulhu? Because you do not get to level up, but you do get to increase your proficiency. So, if you succeeded on a skill check today, please, without not luck, without you're spending luck on it, you get to roll a d100. If you fail the roll, then you get to roll a d10 and add that point value to your skill. Also
we
do the same
thing
for
with
luck.
right?
Yes. So make
Yes.
that one d100, get fail the roll, and gain the lucks back. So.
Well, those are good rolls, but not for leveling
Not
up.
this. All
Ooh.
right, luck. Did I pass or fail? That's like right on the line. No, I just barely passed. I have a 35. Poop. All right, well, here's for spot hidden. And damn it! Still,
You're too good.
I'm too good. Too good.
Oh,
I
Dave,
do
what'd you
rolls
recover?
today.
Or what'd you increase?
I recovered luck.
Did you roll d100 to see if you fail your luck roll?
Damn
it.
And
Oh no,
for
you
anybody-
rolled 1d1. It's okay.
Yeah, there.
Fuck yeah!
Hey,
Failed.
there you go. You got that luck. Hey,
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
see- Justin?
For anybody who's still watching, we did reference some actual historical characters in this, historical figures in this game, primarily really important figures in Black history. Them being those two figures being W.E.B. Du Bois, who is a major civil rights leader, as well as Marcus Garvey. Another civil rights leader, very important. Both of them very important to American history, with the obvious, kind of more localized focus in Black history. But W.E.B. Du Bois was very important for actually quite a few things. I believe this is right. He got a delegation sent to the. Oh no, that was Marcus Garvey. He got a delegation sent to the to the United or the League of Nations, for to represent Black people in Geneva. W.E.B. Du Bois was the founding member of the NAACP. So if you'd like to learn more about them, please go on Wikipedia to do some preliminary research. Yeah, so real people in this game.
Yeah, super cool.
I felt it was important to touch on.
Yeah,
those
good
aspects
info. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin. Yeah.
for our
It's
little
really cool
ED
because that was
ED&I moment.
yeah. That was actually the only newspaper that was specifically like written in, because it says like the other newspapers have the Pete Manusco story, but it specifically said the things I mentioned about the Emancipator and the Union Leader. It said like, hey, like it talks about the Anglo-Egyptian Sudan and the disturbances over there, but it talks about Marcus Garvey and Mr. Du Bois. Like those are specific mentions that are written into this adventure to be included. And like Justin was saying, I think it's really cool that they included them. And that was like a specific thing they mentioned in the newspaper. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thanks for those of you who tuned in. I know we lost somebody. It's a couple people during the break, but all good. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you who did, tune in 2 weeks. When we finish up, we will be taking a Thanksgiving break this week. To spend time with our families. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in. Catch if you missed any of our streams, check them out on YouTube, and we'll make some highlights. So thanks, guys. Keep on learning. We'll see you
Bye.
next time.